in Chapin and West Columbia. The Game TV, sponsored by Shepherd's Glass. Shepherd's Glass. Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet studio. Herndon Chevrolet is your hometown dealer. Stop by today or shop online 24/7 at herndonchevy.com.
Time to talk about our buds at CHW Cabinetry. Again, we always talk about Star and her team and what they do. If you need cabinets, and think about it, go outside the box. Inside, outside, wherever you need cabinets. Maybe you need cabinets in your car. You ever had cabinets in your car? Why not? Think about that. CHW Cabinetry, they could probably do that too. CHW Cabinetry in Lexington. Right there on Two Notch. Just give them a call, 803-520-6837. And if it's time for some new cabinetry in your kitchen, dining room, wherever, just call Star and her gang first. 803-520-6837. They do photorealistic renderings. They take you from start to finish in the project. Total transparency, fantastic customer service, quality work. 803-520-6837. Give Star and the folks at CHW Cabinetry a call.
It's a new year in Columbia, and if you own a business, you too can have the guaranteed protection of Rhino Shield. Just ask Mike.
I was watching TV one night and saw the Rhino Shield ad, and I thought, well, if they can do a house, they can probably do a building.
Rhino Shield's not paint, it's better.
So they came out and they gave me a price, showed me how the Rhino works, how it lasts, and how the guarantee works.
Business or residential, get the guaranteed protection of Rhino Shield for 15% off the regular price.
They waited for us to leave, and they worked Saturday and Sunday, so they wouldn't affect our business at all. This was the great part of it. I came back Sunday night, and you couldn't even tell they were here. There was no paint on the ground. They did a fantastic job.
Here's owner Dan Hoey.
This offer is limited, so call today at 833-RHINO-99 or visit RhinoShieldCarolina.com. Don't paint.
Don't vinyl. Go Rhino.
Don't paint. Don't vinyl. Go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Cooler weather is coming, which means more time spent in your home with family and friends. Make sure your home is ready. At AAA Heating and Air, home comfort is their top priority. Schedule a seasonal maintenance appointment to get your heating and cooling system in prime condition. And speaking of spending more time indoors, ask about AAA Heating and Air's indoor air quality products that eliminate odors, remove allergens, and can even reduce the spread of some airborne viruses while you sleep. Picture this. You're watching a nail-biter game. Food's in the oven, and suddenly, everything goes dark. Don't let storms and power outages ruin your plans. Get a free consultation for a whole home standby generator with easy financing. Join the AAA Comfort Club for added discounts and priority scheduling. Call AAA Heating and Air at 803-677-1500 today. Home with a $1,500 buyback, no payments for one whole year, and 0% financing. Tell them Jay Phillips sent you.
AAA Air when you need us. AAA Heating and Air.
Hey Gamecocks, this is Ben Cato, third-generation owner of Cato's Power Equipment. Are you interested in upgrading your lawnmower and saving some serious money? We've got our entire Gravely commercial lineup marked at 20% off MSRP. Take advantage of some serious preseason savings on some of the industry's best zero-turn and stand-on mowers. Cato's Power Equipment is Columbia's home for the tools you need to maintain your turf. Don't spend more on your mower. Come to Cato's Power Equipment.
Chicana's Bar and Grill is our sweet deal of the week. This Friday, starting at 9 a.m., visit 1075thegame.com and click on Sweet Deals to get a $50 gift certificate to Chicana's Bar and Grill for just $25. Don't miss out. Powered by Integrated Media, The Game TV, sponsored by Shepherd's Glass. For auto, home, and commercial glass, shepherdsglass.com. In Chapin and West Columbia, The Game TV, sponsored by Shepherd's Glass. Shepherd's Glass.
The Postgame Show with Jane Phillips and Terry Ford.
Built by U.S. Brick.
On the Game Network and streaming on the 107.5 The Game app.
Yeah. would say this, whether Raven was in or out, we have been working on some things the last couple of days that made us, we're a team that prior to today, we've been really aggressive, one pass shots, keeping the ball on one side of the floor. So we wanted to be a little bit more patient and getting ball reversals. So once we got ball reversals, I thought we got clean looks. So we really concentrated on that. And it was, whether it's Raven or Maddie, they were going to execute that part of the game.
That is Dawn Staley talking post-game after, I would call it not a nail-biter. At CLA yesterday as South Carolina boat races Vanderbilt. Basically, South Carolina took out on Vanderbilt what they'd like to take out on Oklahoma. Does that sound fair?
It does, and Vandy made a little effort there at the second quarter after Carolina, I think, more than doubled them up. Let me go back and 33-16 first quarter, and Carolina scored 55 points in the first half, 103-74 final, and we were discussing this, you and I, on Friday and a little bit today after the game. How much of Carolina's performance was about what they didn't do at Oklahoma? And Tessa Johnson alluded to it in postgame, and then I'm paraphrasing Tessa, but basically said, we knew we didn't play like we should have in Oklahoma, and they didn't. I mean, and again, they did for a few minutes when it counted a lot, Terry, and then they didn't. And it was, other than that, it was all Oklahoma. But Carolina, for about 3 or 4 minutes in the fourth quarter, played like Carolina. Played defense. It was they got shots. They made them. Scored 8 straight points to take a lead, and then just forgot how to play basketball for the next 5.5 minutes if you can count the last possession of regulation and overtime. And then yesterday, look, you and I were talking about this. Let me give you some Vandy stats real quick, y'all, before I give you Carolina stats, because if you see this, you're going to think that's a pretty good game. Vanderbilt shot 46% from the floor, 48% from three, made 75% of their foul shots, had 26 rebounds, had 19 assists, 7 steals, 3 blocks. That's a good game.
Yeah,
that's a good game. Now,
that
they're
would
bad
win you
for
games,
Vanderbilt.
That would win you games, Jay.
Yeah. And they scored 74 points. But they did turn the ball over 20 times. Now, okay, so that's Vandy's stat line. Again, 74 points on the conference road against a top 5 team. South Carolina shot 62%. That's 62% from the floor. 59% from three. Made 93% of their foul shots. Had 32 rebounds. Had 25 assists on 40 made buckets, turned the ball over 14 times, significantly less than Vanderbilt, had 12 steals and 7 blocks. I mean, Carolina, so, how much of it, Terry, was motivation after a poor performance? How much of it was Dawn just riding them and as she said, working on some things to be more aggressive? I don't know where the mix is. The answer is it came from both places and then some. But, really, like we said, I can't count the Coppin game in between the Texas and Oklahoma games. It's nothing against Coppin, just, Carolina responded accordingly. And look, they beat Texas, so I'm not going to sit here and say that was a bad game, but that was an ugly game for both schools. Carolina won an ugly game, but we know it was ugly. And we know Carolina did not seemingly play at their best. Some of that was on them, some of that was on Texas. It felt like more of Carolina playing poorly against Oklahoma was about South Carolina, with all due respect to the Oklahoma Sooners, who, by the way, went on the conference road this weekend and beat Auburn, who Carolina goes to see in a couple of days. So Oklahoma keeps winning. But I think this was a lot more about South Carolina on Thursday and a lot more about South Carolina yesterday. And Vanderbilt was undefeated. One of only 2 teams in the country that was undefeated. Now it's just Connecticut.
Yep.
So, I think, again, a lot of it was, like you said on Friday, man, I don't want to be Vanderbilt after what we just saw. and that seems to have borne out. But at the same time, this, as we talked about on Friday, you were led by one of the great point guards in the history of the sport, and she's going to get after you to do the most important things, primarily protect the basketball, be efficient with the basketball, guard the basketball, and Carolina didn't do enough of that on Thursday. And again, Vandy shot well yesterday, but my God, Terry, 62%, 93% from the foul line, 32 rebounds, 25 assists. That is what, you won't get that every night, but that's a great way to respond against a top 5 team.
Yeah, I'll give you another number. Do you remember we saw it at the rim against Oklahoma? South Carolina was 18 for 40, remember, which was just insanely not very good, to be nice.
Right.
Last night, South Carolina, 27 of 36 at the rim, 75%. Now, part of that is Vanderbilt doesn't have the inside presence that Oklahoma does, to be fair. Vanderbilt's not a big team. Matter of fact, Dawn went small to start the game to match up with Vanderbilt, playing small as well. That's why Okot started on the bench, because it wasn't a great matchup. But what happened, once this thing got rolling, Okot came in the game, Vanderbilt had no answer for her at the rim. She was like 8 of 9 at the rim. Joyce Edwards, 7 of 9 at the rim. And that's where those two live. And they both struggled against Oklahoma. So they got it going at the rim. Latson, who, had a bad game against Oklahoma, was phenomenal. Scoring, setting up her teammates, defensively. She was 6 of 10 at the rim, hit a 3. Everything. South Carolina just, look, you know this. The really, really good teams, when they get beat and don't play well, and it's more them than the opponent, for some reason the next game they play, I don't care who they're going up against, they respond. And you saw, it reminded me, I told you earlier today, it reminded me of that LSU game a few years ago at CLA. Remember, you and I did the show before the game. We were out there. It was a big game. Kim Mulkey, first year at LSU. I think LSU was undefeated at the time, or undefeated in league play or whatever. And they came into CLA, and it was going to be a big deal. LSU was going to step up with the big dog. And South Carolina went on some 100-0 run to start the game. Killed them, right? That's what yesterday reminded me of. They came out, oh, you're undefeated? Oh, that's cute. Now we're going to kick your ass. And that's what happens yesterday. That was an old school, oh, you think you can play with the big boys and the big dogs? No, you can't. And that was sort of like, that's why you saw Vanderbilt's walking off the court after the first TV timeout, like, Bruce Willis coming off the train in Unbreakable. They were like, what the hell was that? And, South Carolina was focused, intense, and they took it to them right from the get-go. And I just think really good teams, when they don't play well, they get a focus that next game. They course correct. And Dawn, they haven't lost a back-to-back game in since it's been almost 10 years. Yeah, 7, 8 years since they've lost back-to-back.
I think it was the 18-19 season,
And you saw why yesterday. You just saw why yesterday. So you and I talked about it after the Oklahoma game. Now, did I think that South Carolina would come out here and squash Vanderbilt like a bug on the sidewalk? No, I didn't think that. But I thought South Carolina would beat them because they had to course correct, and Dawn was going to coach them up, and there was going to be focus, and there was going to be intensity. But I didn't think to that degree, pal. Wow.
No, I didn't either. To score 100 points in a conference game is tough. To do it against an undefeated top 5 team is tougher. Home, road, neutral, I don't care. And again, shooting better than 60% from the floor. You mentioned Joyce and Medina combined 15 for 19 from the floor yesterday. And let's see, Joyce ended up with 7 boards. They both ended up with 7 boards. So, 15 points, 15 buckets and 14 boards combined for those two. And down low for Carolina. Latson comes up big, 21. Tessa scores 20. And Tessa had a couple of big misses the other night that she wasn't happy about. And, again, she was in postgame saying we knew what we needed to do, and a lot of it was about us. So, big response. Auburn next. Let me look and see when they play Tennessee.
I think they play Mississippi State after Auburn, then Tennessee here is what I think. Go ahead and take a look. I might be wrong.
I am pulling that up for you. Let's see. Auburn, then they go to A&M, then Mississippi State, Tennessee, Oh, Tennessee here on
Yep.
Super Bowl Sunday. So 2 weeks from yesterday, Tennessee here. That is a 3 o'clock game before the big game kicks off.
And Jay, here's the thing. I know losing
That'll be on.
Oklahoma.
By the way, that's on national broadcast TV.
There you
That's
go.
on ABC.
And I know losing at Oklahoma stunk, and they didn't bring their D game. I get it, but here's the thing: it's a long year. You lose a game like that, you get refocused. The world hasn't ended. You took out Vanderbilt. You have a tie. You have a tiebreaker over them. You got Tennessee coming here. You're favored to win that game. If you win that game, then you're fine. Everything's okay, because Oklahoma's lost multiple conference games. So the only game, if you look at some of these ESPN or Bart Torvik, South Carolina's only picked to lose one game. That's at LSU. The rest of the year. So the world is okay. That loss stunk to Oklahoma, but it didn't knock you off course for all your goals. So the world is going to be all right. You just got to play your game. That's all.
Yeah, you just can't. Yeah, you can't have those letdowns.
Right.
And that was the big thing. And again, after coming back the way they did at the end of regulation against Oklahoma, to play so poorly in overtime was also very unlike South Carolina women's basketball.
I will come back here. Do we get to the men now? Or you want to wait? Post-game show. The opposite of what happened with the women, the men. We'll get to that next on the post-game show on the game.
Steps back three. Yes, sir. The Game Network. 107.5 The Game in Columbia. 100.5 The Game in Florence. 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach. And now 96.9 HD3 The Game in Charleston.
Go to 1075thegame.com and check out this sweet deal. Get a home exterior pressure wash from Ford's Full Court Pressure Wash for only $15. Just click on Sweet Deals.
Hey guys, it's Jay Phillips for Dr. Dan Balknight and his team at the Men's Clinic. As we get older, things slow down. Things aren't quite where we want them to be. Inside the brain, in the body, when you're just doing regular old stuff around the house, at work, in your personal life, right? There's a lot of things that just aren't like they used to be. And you may say, why is that? Well, it's time to go see the experts and figure it out. No magic pills, no one size fits all, just experts in healthcare for men for years. That's what Dan Balknight and his team at the Men's Clinic have been doing for folks all across the Midlands. Do it for yourself. Do it for your family. Set up that initial consultation. See what they can do for you. 803-875-MENS. Go online and learn more as well. TheMen'sClinicSC.com.
Running a business means wearing multiple hats. So if you're like me, you probably started out using your personal phone, taking client calls and texts nonstop. As my business grew, I needed something smarter. That's when I switched to Quo, the #1 business phone system. Quo works right on your phone or computer. No carrying 2 phones, no clunky landline, just one easy app you can try for free. Your team can share one number and handle calls and texts together like a shared inbox. Any teammate can jump into the conversation, so customers get faster responses. And Quo's AI assistant summarizes your calls and responds to customers 24/7, so you never miss a lead or opportunity. All this starts at just $15 a month. That's basically 2 coffees. You can even keep your current business phone number. Find out why 90,000 businesses trust Quo. No missed calls, no missed customers. Try Quo for free at quo.com/sports. That's quo.com/sports to try Quo free. QUO.com/SPORTS.
Trust and Will is an online estate planning service. Visit trustandwill.com for details.
Trust and Will.
My dad and I were always close, but some things we just didn't talk about, like his will. After he was gone, we found out he didn't have one, and it created a lot of stress during a time of grief.
Creating a will can be hard to think about, but avoiding it can lead to greater difficulty for the people you love. That's why Trust and Will makes estate planning simple. Create a will online in as little as 30 minutes.
Now, I have a will in place to make sure my loved ones are protected. With Trust and Will, it was easy and affordable, and I got peace of mind knowing my wishes are clear.
Trust and Will.
Get 20% off when you visit trustandwill.com/game. That's trustandwill.com/game to get 20% off. trustandwill.com/GAME.
Honey, look, the hookers. They've moved off the highway and now they're all over the parking lot.
What are all those Schroeder's towing trucks doing in that parking lot, though?
Must be towing all those unauthorized cars parked in the lot. Good thing the business owner called Schroeder's Towing to keep their parking lot clear for just their customers. Didn't those cars see the free signage that Schroeder's provides to business owners to deter unauthorized parking?
I guess not.
Schroeder's Towing, the best and fastest hookers in town.
Chicana's Bar and Grill is our sweet deal of the week. This Friday, starting at 9 a.m., visit 1075thegame.com and click on Sweet Deals to get a $50 gift certificate to Chicana's Bar and Grill for just $25. Don't miss out.
It's the biggest game on the planet, and nobody breaks it down like Jim Rome.
Who do you think will be the last one standing this year?
Fearless debate and the best callers in sports.
On any given week, you have lots to beef about. Take advantage of it. Get up in here.
Big games, big opinions, and zero mercy.
We'll get to all of that. You've been warned.
He's the Spitfire of sports smack.
A lot to get to, and I'm not sure you're going to like all of it. I don't even care if you like all of it or not. I have a job to do.
The Jim Rome Show.
What's your beef?
Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
Post-game show with Jane Phillips and Terry Ford.
Built by U.S. Brick.
On the Game Network and streaming on the 107.5 The Game app.
All right, it was not pretty in College Station on Saturday for South Carolina. Here's Lamont Paris, the head coach. Now what gave the Gamecocks the most trouble?
Well, I'll go back, but in the first half, most of it was in transition. We attacked and got to the basket, and then we didn't finish. There was a lot of traffic in there. We changed what we were doing in the second half that way offensively to try to clear some free space up. But I would, if I had to guess, I don't know it for sure, but if I had to guess, I would say the vast majority of those threes came out of transition. And so, you know, a lot of that is, does it come off of a turnover? Maybe a couple, but a lot of them were off of shots that we didn't, and then they were out, and they ran, and they got out. And then once they did that, they also made a couple. But they shot the ball well also. I mean, I don't know if they've made that many threes in a half. We don't normally give up that many threes. We were switching the ball screens, but a lot of it was transition. I mean, just we did not finish around the basket, and that led to a lot of transition situations.
That's Lamont Paris postgame talking about what happened at A&M. Aggies 92, Gamecocks 69, and not to be mean, it wasn't that close. A&M had almost like a 30-point lead.
A&M got up by as many as 32 in the second half. Yeah,
and then they were nice and kind of took their foot off the gas a little bit. But, yeah, I mean, look, they set a school record for threes and a half with 12. You had a dude, Zach Clements. God loves Zach. Zach knocked down 7 threes. You know what Zach was averaging points per game coming into this contest, Jay Phillips?
Tell me.
4 points a game, roughly. You know it's not your year when a dude who's scoring 4 points a game drops 7 threes on you for 21 points in 15 minutes of game time.
Yeah. Off the bench.
Off the bench, man. 15 minutes, 21 points, 7 of 8 from 3. I mean, he should have left and played the lottery. I mean,
well, maybe he did.
Yeah,
maybe he did. It was an early game. They got started early because of the weather out that way, so maybe he did.
Maybe we'll see this tomorrow. Zach Clements, $250 million off Powerball.
That's right.
But man, look.
Way to go, Zach.
I mean, look. We talked about this. This is a tough team to play, in general, because they play different. They play fast, but they don't play conventionally fast. It's very unconventional. I mean, usually it doesn't matter if you make a shot or miss a shot. They're running. They'll take the ball out of the basket, and then they'll start pushing up court on you. They do a lot of unconventional things to keep the tempo going. And look, when you don't have a traditional point guard and you don't have a lot of ball handlers, it makes it even tougher. Look, South Carolina only committed 10 turnovers if you look at the box score, but they were under duress the entire game, Jay. They just really were.
Yeah, they were, and you're right. And you got, at least from a scoring perspective, to kind of go to your point about, the one, you got good Michi scoring. Michi scored 26 points for South Carolina. In 34 minutes, he was 7 of 12, hit 2 threes, made all. He got to the line 10 times, Terry. Carolina only got to the line 12. Michi got there 10 times.
You know, you've gotten good Michi the last 2 games.
You have.
I mean, really good Michi.
And at least you split him. He had 4 boards, 5 assists. He did turn it over 4 times, but in 34 minutes in that environment, I guess I'll say, I guess I can live with that. But not much else. Kobe Knox had 18. But Elijah Strong, who had been scoring for you, just didn't have it. And he wasn't in any kind of foul trouble to play 14 minutes. He just didn't have it. And in fact, I'm looking to make sure, he didn't commit a foul.
No.
He just, for a guy who had been doing some really nice things for you down low offensively, it just wasn't there for him. Missed all 8 of his shots. Mm-hmm. Again, sometimes you don't have it.
No.
And that's another thing, and maybe that goes to the point Lamont was making in the clip you just played. And we talked about it, Terry. Carolina doesn't have there's very little that Carolina has consistently other than Michi.
Yeah.
But down low is a problem on both ends of the floor. And on nights, if it's at their best, they can hang around with people for a bit. But if they're not doing it down low on either end, and especially offensively, to again, Lamont's point, you're going to get a game like this, especially a game against a team that likes to get up and down. So, can't say I was overly surprised by the result. I really can't. And in the end, a 23-point loss. You were down 21 at halftime. A&M, like I said, got up by 32. Then, I don't know if they took their foot off the gas or not. Maybe you could argue they did. Carolina did go on an 8-0 run. To at least close the gap a little bit and start to make some shots. But obviously by then, way too little too late.
Yeah, Michi in his last 2 games, you ready for this? 23 of 25 from the line.
Yeah.
That's insane. Yeah. I mean, you went over the numbers. He was very efficient, whether it was at the line, on the floor, from inside the 3-point line, at the 3-point line. I mean, he had 5 assists. Look, 4 turnovers and with that kind of pressure on you, when you're really kind of like, You and Mongolian Mike are really the only 2 ball handlers consistently you have on the court. I mean, look, that's going to happen against A&M. And look, Michi, in his last 3 games, has 15 assists. He's pulled down 12 boards. Has only missed 2 free throws. And 6 of 15 from 3, which is 40%.
That's good.
I mean, inside the 3-point line, some of these numbers come down, but I'm going to say this. To get those kind of games from Michi, who we know can have nights where, he's 0 for everything. Michi has been, for the most part, pretty consistent the last 3 games. And, of course, you got the win against Oklahoma and you have these 2 losses. But, man, that was just look, I'm not surprised what happened in College Station. Let's just put it that way. Not with that style of play. Very difficult for South Carolina to deal with that because it's just so different and it's so up-tempo. And, look, they got Florida coming in here on Wednesday, and Florida just got upset at home by a talented Auburn team.
Florida. I watched some of Florida's game. Florida was getting crushed at home. I think Auburn was up 14 points. Florida came all the way back to tie it, and Auburn still ended up winning by 9. So
yeah.
Florida kind of spent all they had in making the big comeback, and then the Auburn Tigers figured out a way to make sure that they didn't get beat after, because you don't want to get 14-point road margin and then to have it come all the way back to even. That would have been a bad loss for Auburn, but to their credit, they made sure they didn't. But yeah, you'll get an angry Florida coming in here. Remember, last year Florida came to Columbia and the Gamecocks played really well, really well.
It was a really good game. You could have said South Carolina should have won that game, to be fair.
I think so. I just don't anticipate that same thing on Wednesday.
Okay.
Could be wrong. Let's see.
Stuff happens, but you said this. South Carolina's had trouble in the interior, right? Do you know?
Yep.
We know what Florida has. Possibly the best front court in America.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a bad matchup. Now, look, anything can happen.
And there's a lot of bad matchups. And again, look, A&M poses a bad matchup for a lot of people.
Yeah,
they're 6-1 in the conference now.
They do.
That's a good basketball team.
It is.
They're very well coached. Maybe not the most talented team in the league, but they're very well coached, and it's a fun brand of basketball to watch.
It is,
if
man.
You're a neutral.
You know what's going to be interesting? Once Bucky Ball goes through the league a couple times, how teams adjust to it. but it is a fun brand of basketball. Even he said it was funny. In an interview, he said, look, I'm just some goofy high school coach. And when I was coaching high school, I did a bunch of goofy stuff that probably was unconventional and it was working. Then I just kept doing goofy stuff when I got to college. It keeps working. So he knows what he's doing is unconventional. It is going to be interesting now that he's in a power league with a lot of the coaches there are a lot of good coaches in the SEC. How those coaches are going to adjust to buckyball once they've seen it and they can scout it and break it down a little bit on tape. How they now attack it is going to be really fun to watch because it is. I hope it works because I love it. It's just so different and so much fun. But we'll see what happens once everybody starts adjusting to it.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to believe, though, Terry, that this week we hit the halfway point of the conference basketball season, too. So for South Carolina, again, you've got Florida. Then LSU comes here, a team you've already beaten. So, are you looking at 3-6 to start the year? And what does that mean for your second half where you go to Texas, who beat Vandy the other day? Missouri.
They got more wins over ranked teams, I think, than anybody in the SEC.
Yeah, going to Bama. We'll see. Bama's going to have some news tomorrow that we'll discuss. So you got to go to Florida still. You got to go to a very good Georgia team. Tennessee comes here, and they're good. So it's a rather we knew it was going to be a tough one, but need to split these home games this week.
Absolutely. All right, we'll crack open the vault.
Or better for that matter.
How about sweeping them?
Yeah,
what the hell?
But right.
All right, the vault is next here on the post game show on the Game and the Game Network.
The Game Network welcomes our new affiliate 96.9 WIWF HD3 in Charleston, South Carolina. Gamecock fans, get ready for something new this season. Charleston now has a new station for Carolina sports talk. Dial in to 96.9 The Game on HD3. Head to 96.9 FM and on an HD radio, punch into HD Channel 3. You'll unleash live Carolina coverage you can listen to all day long. New on HD3. It's 96.9 The Game HD3, South Carolina's newest sports station.
This is a Westwood One Sports Minute.
Presented by Robinhood, your money, your move. Every team looking for a new head coach this hiring cycle is looking for an offensive play caller. This year's Super Bowl matchup, the Patriots and the Seahawks, will feature two defensive-minded head coaches in Mike Vrabel and Mike McDonald. In a league focused on scoring and offense, the old saying is defense wins championships, and that's true, at least for this year. I'm Chris Black.
Find what you love and love what you find at Total Wine and More. There's so much waiting for you.
With the lowest prices for over 30 years, find what you love only at Total Wine and More. Drink responsibly, B21.
The new era of UFC on Paramount Plus continues with UFC 325 live from Australia. Catch featherweight champion Alexander Volkanovski in a rematch of his epic title fight against Diego Lopez, and the always dangerous Dan Hooker throws down with dynamic finisher Benoit Saint Denis in a high-action lightweight showdown. UFC fans, pay-per-view just got knocked out. Catch UFC 325 on Saturday, January 31st, only on Paramount Plus. Stream every fight live with one subscription. Visit ParamountPlus.com/UFC to get started.
Get 5 quarts of Valvoline full synthetic motor oil, a Wix filter, and a $15 gift card after rebate at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Lowe's knows how to turn big plans into real results. Whether it's new appliances or a home refresh, get started with 12-month special financing on purchases of $299 or more with a MyLowe's Rewards credit card, January 15th through the 30th, so you can invest in your upgrade now and pay over time. Lowe's, we help, you save. Offer subject to credit approval and cannot be combined. Minimum monthly payment required. See store Lowe's.com for details.
Hey, it's Flo here to say drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds.
Nice. With my new savings, I'll get some hiking gear. It'll be great for my outdoor era.
I don't know if it counts as an era if you just buy stuff.
I got a cute hiking backpack. It's an outdoor era.
Well, you only bought one thing. I don't think it's an era.
Well, I think we're in a agree to disagree era.
Yeah, sure, you're probably right. Anyway, with the money you could save by switching to Progressive, you can afford to switch to other things in life. It's
my savings era.
Also, everything you do is not an era.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Febreze.
New Febreze Air Mist has 50% more odor fighters and up to 30% more fragrance than the old formula. So now you can take on 100% more stinky odors, like sweaty gym bags, greasy cooking smells, and the after effects of the dog rolling around in something. Just spray, and New Febreze Air instantly restores just clean freshness. Smell you later, odor.
Breathe happy Febreze. La, 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 la.
Shopping with your parents can be embarrassing.
Why would they sell jeans with holes in them? I'm going to speak to the manager.
Mom!
That hoodie is giving. You should get it. YOLO.
Thanks to the Chase mobile app, your kid can shop independently while you keep an eye on their spending. So you can go from...
We can be twinsies.
...to...
How was shopping? Saw you stayed on budget.
Thanks, Mom. Freedom for kids, control for parents. That's family banking from Chase.
Account subject to approval. Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank N.A. Member FDIC.
The Post-Game Show with Jane Phillips and Terry Ford.
Built by U.S. Brick.
On the Game Network and streaming on the 107.5 The Game app.
Post-Game Show. Terry Ford, Jay Phillips. Got a lot to get to. College football playoff conversation. Dabo Sweeney conversation. Dabo wins scorched earth on Friday. Before we get to any of that and all that, it's time to get to open up the ball.
Time to open the vault. Sponsored by Purple Wave Auction. It's the Post-Game Show on the Game Network.
All right, so the vault today. Let's start with the fun stuff because we get depressing here. We get depressed here in a minute there, Jay Phillips.
Okay.
On this day, in 1980, this dude debuted on American Bandstand.
This is a fantastically successful album. Ladies and gentlemen, here is Prince.
Did I Want to Be Your Lover on American Bandstand this day in 1980?
1980.
Mm-hmm.
Man.
And the funniest part is I was reading a little bit about this. And it's over. You know, Dick Clark always interviews the acts, right?
Yeah.
And he went to interview Prince, and Prince was so shy, Prince could barely finish a sentence.
I believe it.
Oh, yeah.
Especially back then.
Oh, yeah.
And Prince.
Yeah, I love me some Prince, man.
Oh,
that's one of my favorites.
I'm not sure, again, individually speaking, I'm not sure this nation has ever produced a finer musician from top to bottom than Prince.
Think about this for a minute. He, take that, the first Batman, he did the soundtrack.
Yeah.
He wrote it. He produced it. He played all the instruments.
Well, and that's just it. He did pretty much write everything he did and arrange everything he did, lyrics and music. He could play everything, but not, he can sing, but he didn't just play the guitar. The man could shred.
That dude was Jimi Hendrix-like when he shredded a guitar.
Shred the guitar.
Yes, he was phenomenal. And, of course, Purple Rain.
Dance.
Purple Rain was a cool movie with the music.
Yeah, biopic movie.
Yeah, it was cool.
Dude.
Yeah, we won't talk about Under the Cherry Moon. We'll skip over that one. But anyway.
Well, everybody's
got their moments, right. But no, I love Prince, man. He's one of my favorites. One of my favorites.
Something else.
This day on American Bandstand. All right, the sports. This day in 1986, the Chicago Bears won the Super Bowl. William Refrigerator Perry ran for a touchdown.
How many did Walter Payton run for, Terry?
0.
Yeah, way to go, Ditka.
Yeah, nice go. William Refrigerator Perry scores a rushing touchdown in the Super Bowl, and one of the greatest running backs in the history of the game does not get a touch at the goal line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When they scored 46 points.
Yes. Yes.
And Dick was like, I thought he did. My bad.
Yeah, nice job, Mike. And you remember, Walter was not happy about that. And I don't blame him. He should not have been happy about that. Because that was ridiculous.
It was.
No offense to Fridge, that was ridiculous. Ridiculous.
No, the offender is Mike Ditka.
Mike Ditka. It was just, or you pull your offensive coordinator aside and you grab him by whatever you grab him by and say, hey, dude, see that guy number 34? He's going to carry the ball till he scores a touchdown. Thank you.
Right.
Good day.
Right.
This day in 1992, we forget that the Washington, when they were the Redskins, were really good at one point. They won their third Super Bowl in 10 years, beating the Bills 37-24, scoring 28 straight points, or 24 straight points. So another Super Bowl there. And then this day in 2020, this is the day Kobe Bryant died in a helicopter crash.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a bummer, man. It was sad.
Yeah.
I was on the air when that whole thing went down. And you got the intel first that there was a helicopter crash and that it possibly involved Kobe Bryant and his daughter and others. And then the news is coming out that that's true and there were no survivors. It was sad, man. It was just awful. Just awful.
What was it? Were they going to one of his daughter's?
Yes.
They were going to a game.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, and he was taking some of the other kids and parents who played on that team, and the helicopter crashed, and it just. I mean, not just. Look, a lot of lives got affected horribly over that. Not just Kobe, but it was just sad, man. Just sad all the way around. Kids on that helicopter, and Kobe trying to do good things, and the parents and the families. It was just sad, really sad. This day, 2020, man.
God, it seems.
I know.
I don't know if it seems. It seems longer sometimes than 6 years.
I know. It does.
Wow.
It's crazy that it's only been 6 years.
Yeah.
And the thing.
And he was on the way to doing some big things post hoops.
Well, a lot of people who knew him were talking about how he had just had evolved, after basketball and become this kind of like Renaissance man and was helping young NBA players and doing all these things in the community and just really zoning in on all these really good deeds. And it just,
Well, and he had the money to do it.
Yes,
and
he did.
Wanted to use it right, and that was the thing. And he was starting to. Yeah.
Yeah, it just was a sad day in 2020 as Kobe Bryant died on this day. All right, we'll come back. 4 o'clock news, college football playoff stuff. 5 o'clock news, I should say, coming up. We start the 4 o'clock hour next on the postgame show.
Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet studio. Herndon Chevrolet is your hometown dealer. Stop by today or shop online 24/7 at HerndonChevy.com.
Looking for a dealership that treats you like family? Come to Herndon Chevrolet, where we've been proudly serving Lexington and the Midlands for over 50 years. Whether you're shopping for a new or pre-owned vehicle or just need expert service, you'll find it all right here. Shop online anytime at HerndonChevy.com or stop by and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile.
Herndon Chevrolet, Herndon makes you wanna smile.
Hey, this is Jen Jensen for CHW Cabinetry. My family is using CHW Cabinetry, and they are fantastic to work with. They make sure you're satisfied with every step of the process. Not only do their photorealistic renderings show exactly what your new space will look like, their job site guarantees everyone is on the same page, literally. Experience the CHW difference for yourself. Go to chwcabinetry.com to see more, or call them at 803-520-6837, and be sure to tell them Jen Jensen sent you. CHW Cabinetry, passion from inspiration to installation.
It's a new year, Columbia, so why not stop painting year after year and do what Josh did? He called Rhino Shield.
We have a cedar-sided home at the end of the woods, painted like 1980s beige. We wanted something that was more of a mid-century and modern look. We were driving around and we saw a sign in somebody's yard that said Rhino Shield. It's not paint.
It's not paint. It's better.
We gave Rhino Shield a call, and they were fantastic with the arrangement on the schedule. The 25-year guarantee was important to us. This is our forever home, and we want to make sure that whatever we're doing is going to last a long time.
Columbia, get the guaranteed protection of Rhino Shield now for 15% off the regular price.
I'd say if you're thinking about Rhino Shield, just do it. It's been 2 years now, and it still looks like the day it went on.
Here's owner Dan Hoey.
This offer's limited, so call today at 833-RHINO-99 or visit RhinoShieldCarolina.com. Don't paint.
Don't vinyl. Go Rhino.
Don't paint. Don't vinyl. Go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, your favorite drafts are poured at a frosty 29 degrees, and rare barrel-aged whiskeys are served just the way you want them. It's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch every day from lunch to late night? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Twin Peaks Scratch Kitchen scores every time. Dig into hand-smashed burgers, chef-inspired flatbreads, and more at your local Lodge.
Are you stuck staring at your W-2? Are tax refund worries holding you back? You probably have FOMO, the fear of messing up. The fix? Using TurboTax on Intuit Credit Karma. They find every credit and deduction to help you get every refund dollar you deserve, or your money back. It's time to overcome your fear of messing up and get your taxes done right. Start filing today in the Credit Karma app.
Running a business means wearing multiple hats. So if you're like me, you probably started out using your personal phone, taking client calls and texts nonstop. As my business grew, I needed something smarter. That's when I switched to Quo, the #1 business phone system. Quo works right on your phone or computer. No carrying 2 phones, no clunky landline, just one easy app you can try for free. Your team can share one number and handle calls and texts together like a shared inbox. Any teammate can jump into the conversation, so customers get faster responses. And Quo's AI assistant summarizes your calls and responds to customers 24/7, so you never miss a lead or opportunity. All this starts at just $15 a month. That's basically 2 coffees. You can even keep your current business phone number. Find out why 90,000 businesses trust Quo. No missed calls, no missed customers. Try Quo for free at quo.com/sports. That's quo.com/sports to try Quo free. QUO.com/SPORTS.
Your home for the Gamecocks. 107.5 The Game. WNKT Eastover, Columbia. A Cumulus media station.
Down the sidelines of the end zone.
The postgame show with Jay Phillips and Terry Ford.
Built by U.S. Brick. Whether you're building new or upgrading your backyard, U.S. Brick has the materials to make it happen. Stop by their new exterior design center at 300 UG Street. Build tough. Build timeless. Build with U.S. Brick.
On the Game Network and streaming on the 107.5 The Game app.
Post-game show, Jay, Terry. Breaking important news, Jay.
Uh-oh.
Hold everything.
Okay.
Forget the college football playoff. Forget tampering in college football. Forget all that.
All right.
Shedeur Sanders is going to go to the Pro Bowl, whatever that is. Breaking news.
The NFL, the NFL Pro Bowl.
The Pro Bowl games or the Pro Bowl, whatever they call that now, where they play flag football or they play hopscotch or whatever the hell they do now.
Shedeur's going to that.
Yeah. For his phenomenal season that he had, leading that historic offense in Cleveland.
I think didn't he have more interceptions than touchdowns?
I think he did. I think that it's just that. See, this is like, remember when they had an actual game? Thank God they don't anymore. Not that I cared, because you and I combined hadn't watched the thing since the 90s.
I haven't watched it since college yet.
So I remember one year, Huntley, the quarterback for the Ravens, who was the backup and came in because Lamar got hurt. So many quarterbacks bagged out of the Pro Bowl, they put Huntley in the Pro Bowl. He was like, well, I made it. Why'd I make it? Because you're the only guy left.
Well, I gotta think they're doing that with Shedeur.
Absolutely.
I mean, is he literally like the last quarterback standing in I guess it's an AFC thing?
It's got to be, man. I just saw the breaking news he had made it, and I was like, seriously? Really? That's where we're at? I got to see it. I got to find the story.
Because you have to have a body?
Yes,
at that point,
a human being.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
And well, whatever. I mean, whatever. I don't know.
Here we go. Yeah, he's replacing Drake May. Because, they're kind of like, their numbers are so much the same.
I mean, that's fair.
They're running out of people. He completed.
And I got to think, I don't know, but I got to think Bo Nix would have been in line for something like that, but he's hurt.
But to be honest with you, I'd rather have Bo Nix on one leg. Anyway,
yeah.
Here's the numbers for Shedeur.
Mahomes is hurt.
I take Mahomes on crutches. Anyway,
Lamar is hurt.
They're all hurt. Sanders. The average completion percentage in the NFL is roughly about 64% these days, somewhere in that neighborhood. Shedeur completed 56.6.
That's lower.
Yeah, that's a little below average. 7 touchdowns.
Okay.
10 picks.
Okay, that's not good. That's not good. But he's a Pro Bowler.
But that's it now.
And
He's
the thing is, they'll tout it as such, right? And you'll get his agent.
Yes.
You'll get his agent. Forget about whatever Dion says. Dion can say, look, Dion's in the Hall of Fame, so Dion can say whatever Dion wants to say.
Dion's his dad.
Dion's Dion.
Whatever, right.
Dion's going to say things. But again, Dion's earned his place in lore. That's cool. But it's the other people around Shedeur that will make out like, oh, no. See, he's a Pro Bowler. Nope.
No, he's not. He's just that's not Pro Bowl numbers, but they will. You're right. The agent will push it, and now they will call Shedeur Sanders a Pro Bowl quarterback, which is ridiculous. He's only there because
Truck Stop Jimmy will too, right?
Oh, absolutely. Truck Stop Jimmy will say we got ourselves a Pro Bowl quarterback right here.
There, we drafted a Pro Bowler.
Hey, you know what we all do? We just drafted a Pro Bowler. Why don't you up those diesel prices about 20, 30
cents? You'd be better off if you actually drafted a Pro Bowler.
Yes.
To throw the football.
Who is my guy? Pete Weber Jr. or whatever.
Pete Weber.
Give me Pete Weber.
Earl Anthony. I don't know. I don't know enough of those guys.
Me either. That's all I got. Earl Anthony, Pete Weber, Dick Weber, and that's about all I got. Marshall Holman. I remember him. That's it.
Okay, that's one more than me, man. But
remember that was on TV when we were kids? Remember that?
Yeah, you'd
ABC
be
Wide World of Sports.
You'd be better off with a professional bowler.
Maybe more accurate. Just saying.
Yeah, those dudes are good, man.
Those guys, man, some of those dudes roll 300.
It's always crazy when they
man.
don't bowl the strikes. Like, what's wrong with you? Why don't y'all all bowl 300s every time?
Well, the whole crowd just stops and looks and goes, "Oh my God, you left pins."
Yeah,
you
good
missed. God, you see these guys now bowl without putting their fingers in the holes. I'm lost. I got nothing now. Have you seen that?
Yeah, because they just spin the heck out of that thing.
Spin the hell out of that thing, man. Yeah, it's crazy. Anyway, so Shedeur Sanders is a Pro Bowler.
Oh, way to go, Shedeur. We're all
congratulations.
Yeah,
fantastic.
Great season.
Mm-hmm.
Great season.
Good year.
Yeah.
Good year. Hey,
but don't worry, I won't see whatever he does, or for that matter, anybody else.
No, I don't care about whatever they're doing.
Games.
Nah, ever. No. Whatever they do now, I don't care. I never cared when it was a game. So anyway, all right, post-game show.
They didn't either. That's why it's not any good, because they didn't either. Nobody wants to play tackle football at the end of the season like that. You got to go tackle a guy.
The season's over. The season's over. This is like the All-Star game, right? And the All-Star game is let's go knock the crap out of each other for 3 hours. Nobody wants any of that smoke. I don't blame them.
Nobody wants to do that.
That's why, thank God, it's gone.
It took them 40, 50 years to figure that out.
No, because the NFL's hard-headed. They didn't understand why nobody cared about the Pro Bowl, because we care about everything with the NFL.
Why is nobody watching this game? What?
I know.
Question asked, question answered.
Exactly. Hey, I looked this up, and I'd heard of it when you and I were yipping earlier about this dude, Alex Honnold or whatever. Honnold. He's climbing. What was he doing? Somewhere in Taipei.
The name of the building, the Taipei 101. One of the 10 tallest buildings on Earth.
And this dude's climbing it. And you said, "Did you see this?" I go, "I'd heard about it." I just flipped a little video on. No, thank you.
Man,
no, thank you.
So it was on. They had a. I knew it was coming, but I didn't watch it live. But they had a story on the Today Show this morning. Look, I'm not here to judge, so I'm not doing that. That dude made it. Spoiler alert.
Mm-hmm.
No, he's not tethered to anything. Dude got down on the ground and started climbing a skyscraper, y'all. If you don't know what we're talking about, and this is the guy. I forget the rock formation out west, but a few years ago, this is the guy that did the free climb. On a big, rock face way out, and without, again, tethered to nothing. Gravity is pulling him in all directions, and he's climbing this rock. And Saturday, I guess, he was climbing a skyscraper. Again, 101 stories. He made it. But I don't know. My wife and I were watching, the thrill of it is to see if he makes it, but knowing full well that if he doesn't, you're going to be watching something.
I don't know what the clock.
No, the thrill of it, honestly, for some people, and they won't admit it, there are people watching it to see if he'll fall.
Yeah,
I mean, you know how this goes.
And I remember. I don't want to get morbid, but I have a vague memory of this because I know I was little. but I remember there was a really famous high wire person that did one of these on TV when I was little, and he fell, and and that was that. And like they interviewed his wife like a few weeks later saying, like I heard because she wasn't watching, and like I just remember this, like, well, I heard the people scream and I knew that what had happened. And I'm like, that I just don't know, man. Like I ain't here to judge, but I just don't get it. And this guy's a husband, he's a dad. Like I know you're setting an example of like, hey, you can do whatever you want and look what you can accomplish. And so that part of it, Terry, I suppose is noble, but I don't know, man. I guess it's just, obviously it's not in me. And, I don't know what that says about most of us. I mean, what percentage of planet Earth really wants to go try and do this?
I'll tell you this.
Like 0.0001?
Now, I'm not scared of heights or any of that stuff. That's not why I wouldn't want to do it. I don't want to do it because, again, I don't want to fall that far and croak. And, I just don't.
Well, what if a pigeon just flies around the corner when you're, I mean, or, what if one little piece of something is just loose?
All you need, man.
And you put your hand or foot on it, and then not my fault. And
I'll tell you real quick. I've told you a story on the air not before. I was the young college age version of myself, and myself and a few of my buddies. Every year we drove by on the corner. There was this road, Rossville Boulevard in Baltimore County, and we drive by, and the big billboard had a like Johnny Walker liquor ad every year, and it had a bow, like a big plastic bow coming off of it. Right. So one night, with some alcohol bravery,
some Johnny Walker in you.
Yeah, I decided. Me and two of my buddies decided we want the bow. We went up there. The last thing I remember is I'm telling you, grabbing the bow and pulling back and forth on the bow. And then I remember waking up the next afternoon in my room, and I get up and to stand up, and I step on something. I go, what the heck? And I look down, there's this big piece of bow that just takes up all my room.
Now, how big is this bow?
This bow was gigantic, man. It was a big bow on a billboard. And it was tied. It was tied like a bow.
Sure. But I mean, tell me, like how big? Like I'm thinking like as big as say like the center court circle of a basketball, or like something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, about that big, somewhere like that. And it was, and my buddy and I went up. My other buddy decided not to because he was a sissy boy. But he said this. He goes, "I'll stay out here."
Or smart.
He goes like this: "If you guys fall, I'll catch you." And of course we go, "Okay," because none of us are in our right mind. But I remember my buddy and I were pulling back and forth on that thing. Then I woke up the next afternoon and there was a big piece of bow in my room. I'll never forget my dad walks in, looks down. He's got, lung dart in one hand, coffee in the other. He goes, "I don't know what the hell you did. Don't tell me because I don't want to be in jail with you." And he walked out of the room. And, so that's the only time I ever went up and did anything crazy high up in the air. And I was.
That's pretty good, man. That's as we say in the industry, that's a pretty good get.
I think about that now, going, what the bleep was wrong with me? But again, I was enhanced.
Where did said bow ultimately end up?
I had it. I put it in the basement, and I had it for a few years as like a storytelling piece. It was like there.
Yeah,
people go, what the heck is that thing? And as I moved and got older, it just disappeared in one of my moves. I was like, I've had this long enough. Screw it.
That's too bad.
Time to move it on. I should have saved it.
At least cut. You should have cut a piece and framed it or something.
You know what I still have though? When I was 16 or 17, my buddies and I walked into a Pizza Hut, and there was a big, large pizza sitting there on the pan right by the door. So we figured it was free.
You told me this.
I still have the pan. I still have that pan. That pan I still use, matter of fact. But I got rid of the bow. You're right. I should have saved the bow, and I should have got it framed.
Or at least a piece of it.
Because that was work, man. I was up on that damn thing for a while, Jay. That was work.
And how late, I guess, and or early in the morning was this for no one to see you guys doing this?
It was probably within the 2 to 3 a.m. window.
Okay.
I would guess.
Yeah. And on a major Baltimore area thoroughfare?
It was Rossville Boulevard is like a 4-lane highway, 2 lanes each way.
Okay.
Yep. It was, yeah.
Well, I'm not going to say I'm proud of you, but, you know, and I'm assuming at this point statute of limitations can no longer
long gone.
Get you know.
And that vandalism thing can't get me now. I'm sure the folks at Johnny Walker weren't very happy with us because we were
No, they can afford to know.
Can I tell you something?
I was gonna go there. I know we got to hit a break here, but did they put another bow up on the thing?
Yes, next Christmas. They didn't put it up that Christmas. They left it alone.
Okay.
But
well,
I will.
Again,
yeah,
not the worst I've heard. So good for you. Man.
Yeah. And well, I tell you, one time I was having some fun, and there was a guy that had this sign called Bass Tournament. And I used to take the bees off and throw them in the trunk of my car, and you can get it from there. And he kept putting the bees back up, and I kept taking the bees off. I had like 30 bees in my car. So finally one day I go there, and he put up fishing tournament.
There you go. Not as fun.
Not as fun. But I had a lot of bees.
Well,
I saved one of those.
Yeah. Well,
I was a mature young man, Jay. I'm just saying.
I could tell. That's good. That's good. I'm sure your children love these stories. You set a fine example.
You should see. Whenever I tell one of these, they just look at me and they go, Dad, really? Dad.
So
I say, look, you guys can do nothing dumber than I did. Just saying. But anyway.
All right. Well, we'll come back. Maybe this wasn't dumb, but we do have. I don't know if we can segue properly, but there is at least from one head football coach to another. A level of irresponsibility or unethical behavior. Mm-hmm. So that kind of blends.
Yeah, kind of blends because that was kind of blends. That bow down was kind of unethical.
Yeah, we'll explain on the other side.
Post-game show coming up on the game.
The Game Network, Columbia, Florence, Myrtle Beach, and our new affiliate in Charleston.
This hour of in-show listening on 107.5 The Game is sponsored by QC Kinetics in West Columbia, the non-surgical regenerative orthopedic specialists of the Midlands. Request your consultation today at qckinetics.com.
Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet studio. Herndon Chevrolet is your hometown dealer. Stop by today or shop online 24/7 at herndonchevy.com.
Hey guys, Jay Phillips here for our good friends at Integrated Media. Listen, no matter what you need when it comes to home theater, the guys at Integrated have you covered. It really is that simple. 803-948-8327. You dream it. They come out to the house. They walk around with you. They design it. They install it. Next thing you know, you have years and years and years of fine family entertainment. They say, Jay, I don't really want to do it inside. I want to go outside. I love what I have inside, but now I want to enjoy South Carolina weather while I watch a ball game or my favorite movie. Ha! You can do that too. Amazing outdoor equipment built to be out there 24/7, 365, even in the South Carolina weather, no matter the time of year. They can get that done for you, too. Plus, they're taking care of you with golf simulation at Pro Swing, which is so much fun, both the Chapin and Forest Acres locations. They're ready to make everything you do a whole lot better. And they make house calls, 803-948-8327. Do what I've done. Live better with Integrated Media.
Sponsored by Miller Electric, now hiring.
Miller Electric Company is hiring experienced electricians in Aiken, South Carolina. Join a team with 97 years of industry leadership and unmatched career growth. If you have 3+ years of commercial or industrial electrical experience, apply today at millercareers.com/AIKEN.
The Gant family with Pioneer Tree Service has been taking care of trees in Columbia and surrounding areas for over 48 years. Pioneer Tree Service provides tree and shrub removal, pruning and thinning, tree planting, cabling and bracing, raising tree canopies, stump grinding and removal, storm damage services, property cleaning and grading, right-of-way maintenance, and more. They also provide 24-hour emergency tree removal. They can also handle the removal of diseased and dead trees before an emergency happens. Call them today for a free estimate. 803-794-8253. The Gant family and their team at Pioneer Tree Service can be trusted to provide professional and quality tree services with affordable pricing for residential or commercial jobs. Ashton Smith called Pioneer Tree Service and said they came when she was leaving for work, and when she got home, the tree was gone as if it was never there. She was so impressed with Pioneer Tree Service, she will definitely use them again. Here's one of the Gant girls, Madison Gant.
Call us today for a free estimate.
at 803-794-8253.
Or check us out online at pioneertreesc.com.
Hi, my name is John, and I'm self-employed, and we got sidetracked on our taxes at the 2008 recession, and it became a monster that we couldn't tackle ourselves. We heard about the Ecton Law Firm on the radio and contacted John. If you could classify someone as a miracle worker, I would put him at the top of the list because he took our problem and resolved it for us with our not only our unpaid taxes, but our unfiled tax returns from previous years. And I would highly recommend the Ecton Law Firm.
It's great to know we have changed people's lives for the better. Hi, this is local attorney John Ecton with the Ecton Law Firm. For over a decade, our office has been dedicated to helping hardworking individuals and businesses solve tax problems for good. So if you have years of unfiled tax returns or are facing IRS wage levies, bank levies, or tax liens, call our office today at 771-9800 or go to EctonLawFirm.com. That's ECTON lawfirm.com. Let's get your tax problem solved for good. Call today. You'll be glad you did.
Looking for a dealership that treats you like family? Come to Herndon Chevrolet, where we've been proudly serving Lexington and the Midlands for over 50 years. Whether you're shopping for a new or pre-owned vehicle or just need expert service, you'll find it all right here. Shop online anytime at HerndonChevy.com or stop by and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile.
Herndon Chevrolet, Herndon makes you wanna smile, smile.
The Game phone lines at 803-404-6100. Sponsored by AAA Heating and Air. Now offering 12-month payment plans on all HVAC or electrical repairs with no credit check. Online at callAAAtoday.com.
Post-game show with Jay Phillips and Terry Ford.
Built by U.S. Brick.
On the Game Network and streaming on the 107.5 The Game app.
All right, in the upstate, Clemson coach Dabo Swinney has not been a big fan of using the transfer portal. He's been criticized a ton, and there are people that say this is why the Clemson program has taken a step or two back over the last few years. So Dabo decided to take a jump into the transfer portal. Got himself the freshman of the year, a linebacker from Cal. Good old Luke Farrelly came in, started going to class. Financial aid form was done. Everything looked good. And then, according to all the reports, Ole Miss started tampering and tampering and tampering. And Luke is now at Ole Miss and not at Clemson anymore. Well, Dabo Swinney, obviously not very happy over this situation, talked for about 8 minutes, I believe, on Friday, and here's about a minute 15 of Dabo gone wild.
And to be honest with you, this is crazy. To me, this situation is like having an affair on your honeymoon. That's basically what we're dealing with. And I know for a fact that this is happening at other places. Because you know why? Because I've had a bunch of coaches over the last week that have reached out to me. And they're going, well, let me tell you what's happened to me. Let me tell you what I know. Let me tell you my story. I've had a lot of people reach out with their stories. And so I want to challenge all of those coaches that have reached out to me. I want to challenge all of them. You need to step up and call it out. Otherwise, don't complain. You either step up and you be an example to young coaches in this profession and be people of integrity, or just shut your mouth and don't complain again. That's what I would say to all the coaches out there. Because I know this has happened, and we're never going to get this under control until we start having some consequences. We're just not. It's just that simple.
Look, we have fun with Dabo here. He's not the most popular guy, obviously, in this town. But I'll say, Jay, he's right on it. Don't complain on the down low. Come on out here in the light and talk about it. Come on out and talk about what's going on. But here's the problem. A lot of the coaches that are complaining, guess what? Their closet has skeletons in it, too, some of them.
Yeah, so they're traveling on that same two-way street.
Yep.
It's
Again, there's been a mixed reaction from fans and even some people inside college football to Dabo taking this as public as he did on Friday. And for what it's worth to people, Graham Neff, Clemson's AD, was sitting next to Dabo the entire time. So this isn't something where Dabo decided to kind of, go rogue or anything like that. And he gave a timeline of mentioning these things to Graham Neff before they went public with them. For what it's worth, Grace Rayner, who we've had on the show many times, who writes for The Athletic, and she used to cover Clemson. She's no longer on the Clemson beat, but she did do a story with Sam Kahn on this. So Grace is still connected to some folks at Clemson from her time on the beat. And they contacted Mississippi, who had no comment.
Sure they don't. Tell you what, really quick, and not to interrupt you, Ole Miss has a lot of comment about Lane poaching their guys. They'll talk about that all day, but for some reason in this, everybody's lost their ability to speak. Really weird.
I don't know. Look, as I think we mentioned this a little bit, and more came out, because when you and I talked about this on Friday, we had not seen what Dabo had said.
Right.
So over the weekend, there was more time to reflect on some of this. Again, I applaud him for going public. A lot of, as I said, there's a mixed reaction, Terry. I think there's a lot of people who are saying, that's just Dabo whining. And maybe he is. Hey, Dabo, you should have done more to hold on to the guy. Hey, Dabo, why didn't you give him more money? And apparently, in part of the timeline that Dabo and Clemson released, they basically said that this kid's agent said, well, look, if y'all come up with more, we'll stay. And I think that's where, again, you and I maybe had surmised that he might have done this. Now we know for sure. I think Clemson was like, look, we had a deal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We had a deal. And
right.
You're coming back now.
And you signed the deal.
Yeah. I mean, so it's almost, look, it's not extortion in the grand scheme, but it to have this kid routinely tell Clemson, no, I'm staying, I'm good, and then the agent, is doing all the dirty work.
Mm-hmm.
But the agent said that Ole Miss had an offer that went to 2 years and $2 million, and Clemson wasn't gonna match that. So the kid moved on, and okay, I get it. You moved on for more. Again, I don't know what's right and wrong here, Terry. I just know that I think more than anything, what Dabo really wants out of this is something that just completely prevents this kind of behavior from happening. And we're not there yet in college football, in college athletics. I don't want to say college football.
Wow, I got this idea, Jay, what could help this. There's this thing. It's an agreement, right? It's a collectively bargained agreement.
Right.
And then when you put that in place, then you can have rules to stop this type of thing where there are real penalties. It's a really cool kind of thing. I've heard of it. Look, I guess there's two things in life, man. There is what's legal and what's just right. You know where I'm going here? Legally, obviously, these NIL agreements aren't contracts. These college players aren't employees. And that's a whole different legal world, right? My head's going to explode thinking about it. But you know what's right, dude? As a man signing an agreement, as a man.
Yeah.
That to me, and again, this is just me, and maybe that's why I have $4 in my bank account. But it's just, I think what's right is right. And if you sign an agreement and you shake someone's hand and everybody puts pen to paper, I don't care if somebody 2 minutes later shows up with a better offer. You signed the bleeping agreement. Be a man. Stick to the agreement. That's just me, dude. And I'm far from the. Well, I just told you, I'm up on a skyscraper pulling down bows. I'm stealing pizzas from Pizza Hut. I'm not Mr. Morality, right? But I do believe when you sign an agreement with another party and you shake on it, you abide by it. That's just me, man. And that's what bugs me about all this is. But again, these kids are learning from grown-ups, Jay. They learn all of it from this agent's working it, right? I wouldn't be surprised if they good cop, bad cop Clemson. Like you said, the dirty work. The agent's the one talking about, hey, Ole Miss is coming back. The kid's saying, I want to stay. And the agent's almost kind of going, hey, Ole Miss keeps contacting. What are you going to give us, Clemson? It's just dirty, dude. To me,
they basically they did good cop, bad cop them.
Mm-hmm.
And here's what's interesting. Look, I don't know. I mean, let me read this from the Athletic. This Ryan Williams is this kid's agent, Luke Ferrelli's agent. And there's some people in the Clemson football office trying to talk to him. This is January 16th. The timeline says lunchtime. Clemson had asked Ferrelli to provide the school with text messages from Coach Golding. The agent, Williams, was hesitant to burn bridges with Ole Miss. Williams, and let me read verbatim here. Williams, however, allegedly tells Clemson that if the Tigers were to add a second year at $1 million to the already agreed-upon NIL deal he signed with Clemson, then Williams and Ferrelli's camp would, quote, gladly give Clemson whatever we need in order to turn Ole Miss in, end quote. And Clemson declined that offer. In other words, no, we're not adding another $1 million to the deal.
Jay, I thought they didn't want to burn a bridge at Ole Miss. Oh, for another $1 million, you'll blow the bridge up.
Right. So, again, maybe you're dealing with the wrong dude anyway. And, again, I don't know who these agents are.
Well, they're not certified. They're not certified.
Right.
They're just
so, the whole thing, and it's a cautionary tale for a lot of people. I'll be very curious because ultimately Pete Golding will have to answer questions on this. Mm-hmm. Ultimately, he will.
Yep.
And I'll just, we'll just wait for that to come out. I mean, by now they'll have a nice crafted message, but it's just it's an unfortunate look, and it's one of the worst ones we've seen of late.
Yeah, where do you want to go next, sir? You spin the wheel of topics. Where do you want to go?
Well, we do have a couple of college football playoff things to get to that actually I think some people don't quite realize we're already there before the announcement came on Friday about the format.
All right, let's do it next to the post-game show with Jay and Terry on the Game and the Game Network.
Steps back, three. Yes, sir. The Game Network. 107.5 The Game in Columbia. 100.5 The Game in Florence. 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach. And now, 96.9 HD3 The Game in Charleston.
The Game phone lines at 803-404-6100. Sponsored by AAA Heating and Air. Now offering 12-month payment plans on all HVAC or electrical repairs with no credit check. Online at callAAAtoday.com.
Hey, this is Paul Romenstein, proud owner of Midlands Landscape and Lawns. At our new Lexington location, you'll find more bulk landscaping materials. You'll find people who care about your yard. Need mulch, gravel, or palm trees? We've got it. Want help planting that new deck, pool, or retaining wall? We're here for that too. No pressure, no confusion, just solid advice and quality products. Stop by 1612 North Lake Drive, Monday through Saturday, and let's make your yard shine. MidlandsLandscape.com.
Taxes was waiting on the refund you needed yesterday.
All right, your car repair is going to run about $3,000.
Now Taxes is getting back on the road with TurboTax and Credit Karma, where you can get your refund up to 5 days faster and get personalized guidance to take every dollar further. Now this is Taxes. Intuit Credit Karma with TurboTax. Deposit a federal refund at the Credit Karma money account and early submission of refund data by IRS required. Terms apply. Banking services provided by MVB Bank, Inc. Member FDIC. Credit Karma is not a bank.
Texting enrolls you in recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
The team's looking good this season.
I think so. Man, I miss playing football. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think it could be lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
I was feeling the same way. After 40, the body has less testosterone, and men lose their edge. That's why I take Nugenix Total T2.
That's the testosterone booster, right?
Yes, but Total T2 is their brand new formula that skyrockets nitric oxide levels in as little as 3 hours. Since I started taking it, I've been lifting like when we played for Coach Carter. My energy is way up, and it even spiced up things between me and the missus.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles?
Yep, just send a text.
Text HIM to 215-215 for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T2, the next generation testosterone booster. Text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, our newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text HIM to 215-215. That's HIM to 215-215.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Paid for by Adaptive Health.
Cooler weather is coming, which means more time spent in your home with family and friends. Make sure your home is ready. At AAA Heating and Air, home comfort is their top priority. Schedule a seasonal maintenance appointment to get your heating and cooling system in prime condition. And speaking of spending more time indoors, ask about AAA Heating and Air's indoor air quality products that eliminate odors, remove allergens, and can even reduce the spread of some airborne viruses while you sleep. Picture this. You're watching a nail-biter game. Food's in the oven, and suddenly, everything goes dark. Don't let storms and power outages ruin your plans. Get a free consultation for a whole home standby generator with easy financing. Join the AAA Comfort Club for added discounts and priority scheduling. Call AAA Heating and Air at 803-677-1500 today. Home with a $1,500 buyback, no payments for one whole year, and 0% financing. Tell them Jay Phillips sent you.
AAA Air when you need us. AAA Heating and Air.
Hate paying for streaming? Well, the 107.5 The Game app is free. Yes, free. Just download the 107.5 The Game app. It's the Game Network Traffic Report.
Our first check on the traffic this afternoon, couple of accidents. Really one accident, and that is at Olympia Avenue at Virginia Street right near Bluff Road. We have an object on the roadway, so be on the lookout for this. I-77 northbound at Fort Jackson Boulevard around exit 10. Again, an object in the roadway. 77 northbound at Fort Jackson Boulevard, exit 10. We will come back on the postgame show. College football playoff notes and patches on jerseys. More college football talk. Jay and Terry here on the postgame show on The Game.
Postgame Show with Jay Phillips and Terry Ford.
Built by U.S. Brick.
On the Game Network and streaming on the 107.5 The Game app.
College football playoff conversation on the postgame show. In case you didn't hear it, because there's about, what do you think, Jay, about 1 billion stories going into the weekend on Friday.
There are a lot. By the way, hold on real quick here before you say anything else. You mentioned object in the roadway. Says appears to be a large, oversized holiday bow that may have been on a billboard.
That's what I did with that thing. Thank you.
That's odd.
It's very weird.
Man.
It's not even Christmas. So strange.
Maybe you weren't telling us the whole truth. Oh, wait. No, never mind. Not gonna do that to you.
Oh, man.
Hopefully, if you missed that like 20 minutes ago, then you don't get that.
Yeah,
but I don't have time to go back and
we can't go back to that again. No. Well, that was
other
the one,
than Terry was explaining some juvenile delinquency.
Yes, thank God I'm much more older and mature. The older version of me says, "What were you doing?"
Well, you're older, yes.
That's right. I'm older and smarter, and plus I can't climb like that anymore.
Yeah, you're you're older.
I'm older.
So you're older.
Anyway. All right, college
All right,
football
before we
playoff
get to the CIP stuff, which, again, I'll be honest with you, I didn't even realize was the case. I don't know how people feel about this, but if you missed this, kind of quietly the other day, I think quietly on Friday, actually.
It was.
The NCAA's Division I cabinet. Again, for one, why do you have so many damn committees and cabinets and panels and just give me one? What is the Division I cabinet?
I had never heard of this until Friday.
It's like the president's cabinet. What do I need? Anyway, they approved allowing teams to place sponsorship logo patches, they call them, on game jerseys, equipment, and apparel. So, what does that mean? I'll read here. This is Ralph Russo's piece from The Athletic. Teams can begin displaying up to 2 logo patches, no more than 4 square inches each, on uniforms starting August 1st, and one patch on equipment. An additional logo patch will be permitted during conference championships. So that means you can put a patch on each sleeve, I suppose, each shoulder perhaps, and you can put one on a helmet or some other piece of equipment. I don't know. I mean, in football, I imagine that's going to be a helmet. In baseball, a helmet. I suppose in hockey, I don't know, maybe you put it on a stick. Maybe you put it on the goalie's mask. Maybe you, I don't know, on the glove. I don't know. And what other sports? I mean, in basketball, I don't know what else you put it on. I suppose in swimming, you could put it on a swim cap because they don't wear jerseys, Terry.
They don't?
Yeah, well, I guess you put it on the swimsuits, but anyway. No, in football, let's just stick with football here. I imagine these, again, will be either on the sleeve or the shoulder and something on the helmet. And that you can do two is interesting. And I saw this earlier this weekend. If you do two, does the school control both? If you're a Dylan Stewart, Lenoris Sellers type, do you maybe, and I'm just using them as local examples, is one for the school and one for you because you have a higher profile? Is the helmet one that could be, there's still, the point I'm making is I think there's still gray area as to exactly how this goes down, and whether the school controls them all. Because quite honestly, I would think that'd be a great way for the school and the athlete to maximize said athlete's value depending on who they are and what sport they play and all those kind of things. So I'll be curious to see how that goes down. Also in this Ralph Russo piece, they mentioned that these patches will not be allowed at NCAA tournaments for now, and that they will be revisiting that. I'm going to go out on a limb, Terry Ford, and say by the time NCAA tournaments and whatever sports are being played next school year, they're wearing these things during the tournament.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because if not, I think you probably get sued.
Well, yeah.
So,
well, the NCAA
and why not allow it? I mean, they say,
we shot. What I think. Well, you go ahead first.
Well, I kind of know they said because they may have conflict with some NCAA sponsors, and I'm like,
that's where
tough.
I was thinking. I'm thinking the NCAA tournament sponsors are paying a lot of dough for some kind of exclusivity, but I'm with you. You're going to tell these schools that the stuff they've been wearing all year, that, by the way, how much more value does it come to the school locally if they're on a national stage exposure-wise?
Right.
So you're right. You'll go to court, and the NCAA will lose like always.
No, yeah. If I'm the NCAA, I'm letting go of that. Look, I'm sorry, and I know I'm using a fact here. I know Pizza Hut is an NCAA sponsor. Well, in the off chance that and now I'm just going to throw out. Well, I'll just say if Big State U goes to the NCAA tournament and Big State U's basketball team is sponsored by Domino's, then guess what? Domino's is going to get the shirt sponsor, the jersey sponsor, and Pizza Hut can still run their commercials.
Yes, it's not tough, man.
This is not hard. But anyway, starting next school year, officially August 1, college athletes can wear 2 jersey patches and 1 equipment patch. So again, I think football helmets, batting helmets in baseball and softball, like I said, hockey helmets, goalie helmets, whatever you want to do. I don't know. We'll see. And by the way, if you're wondering, does the Nike swoosh or the Adidas lines count or the Under Armour? Nope. Those don't count. Those are there in a different capacity. These would be additional. So the Nike swoosh won't count as one of the jersey patches for Carolina athletic teams starting next school year.
Look, there are people that don't like it, and I get it. I understand it, but this is the way of the world. You want your school
it ain't
to be
going backwards either. Yeah,
no,
this is. And quite honestly, if I may, we should, you and I have talked about this for a few years. They should have been doing this for a while. Yes. And you're not NASCARing this thing up. You're not even going to PGA Tour this thing. They've set limits here, and I think it's perfectly reasonable. Again, and the reason I say you could do it, Terry. I mean, again, the Nike swoosh has been on stuff for decades. Adidas logo for decades. Under Armour now for decades. Bike, Rydell, their logos have been on football helmets. Easton has been on batting helmets. Rawlings has been on baseball gloves. We know who makes these things. And schools get that stuff as part of a deal. So if you have, again, Pizza Hut or whomever sponsor you, or, Volkswagen, Mercedes, I don't care.
Right.
I don't care. It's already being done. Yeah. And if you do it, and look, again, 4 inches square, two or three places, this isn't a big deal. And it's going to be good for schools to find new revenue streams, which they all need, because that's where we are.
And that's the thing. I mean, look, if you don't like it, I get it. But look, do you want your school to be competitive? Because that's where it's at. You want to be competitive, you've got to generate more money. You got to generate revenue. It's just the way it is. Look, Indiana's a great story. But Indiana upped their spending of their football program a lot in the last couple of years. The school is spending about the same amount of money Ole Miss does on football now. And Indiana used to spend like $12.15. And now
Ben Portnoy told us that they basically tripled their football spending.
I mean, and this doesn't even count. I mean, look, their NIL isn't like the big guys, but their NIL money's come up a lot. They have the largest living alumni base in the country. They got Mark Cuban. One of the things that's gone on at Indiana, despite Curt Cignetti and the transfers from James Madison and the guys who are still there, is they are spending money on football now. You got to spend money if you want to win. That's just it, man. That's the bottom line. Usually, if you look at some of these conferences, Jane, you and I both looked at this. The teams that are struggling the most are spending the less.
Yeah,
it's just the reality of the world we live in now. You got to generate.
It is
revenue.
that easy.
Yep, it just is. All right, we'll come back, do a little Jay or Nay, and also we'll get to the college football playoff stuff. It's on the post-game show next here on The Game.
The Game Network welcomes our new affiliate 96.9 WIWF HD3 in Charleston, South Carolina.
Go to 1075thegame.com and check out this sweet deal. $50 to spend at Jay's Corner for only $12.50. Just click on Sweet Deals.
This is a Westwood One Sports Minute.
Drake May showed up when he needed to, rushing for the only Patriots touchdown in yesterday's AFC Championship game. The second-year quarterback and MVP candidate delivered once again, and just like that, New England is heading back to the Super Bowl. Mike Vrabel is the 8th head coach to lead his team to the Super Bowl in just his first year as the team's head coach. I'm Adam Abdallah.
What if your instincts could pay off? With Robinhood Prediction Markets, you could put your knowledge to work on the events that matter to you. Prediction Markets isn't just sports. It's the Fed rate decision, your favorite award show, and so much more beyond the playing field. Trade events with Robinhood. Visit Robinhood.com/predict. That's Robinhood.com/predict. Futures and cleared swaps trading involves significant risk and is not appropriate for everyone. Event contracts are offered by Robinhood Derivatives LLC, a registered futures commission merchant and swap firm.
This new year, get started on your next success with University of Maryland Global Campus. Apply now and save with no application fee. Classes start February 11th. An accredited state university, UMGC offers online and hybrid classes while giving you a head start on 2026. Earn up to 90 credits toward a bachelor's for prior learning and experience, or transfer up to 12 credits toward a master's. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
Honey, that flu keeping you up? Did you take NyQuil Intense Flu?
Nah, I got this. Okay, I don't got this.
Yeah, you need NyQuil Intense Flu.
Undo your flu with NyQuil Intense Flu. NyQuil Intense Flu provides powerful relief of your flu symptoms so you can sleep.
You do got this.
NyQuil Intense Flu. The nighttime sniffling, aching fever. Best sleep with the flu medicine. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Welcome to guided meditation. Close your eyes. You're at the beach. The seagulls are calling. You take out your iPhone 16e you got from Cricket and use Apple Intelligence to clean up that selfie you just took. It's a good one. You send it to your friends instantly thanks to reliable nationwide 5G. They're totally jealous. Get iPhone 16e for $49.99 when you switch. Smile, you're on Cricket.
Requires new line on the Supreme Unlimited plan. First service charge and tax due at sale. $25 activation fee. Terms and restrictions apply. Cricket 5G is not available everywhere. See store for details.
Honey, that flu keeping you up? Did you take NyQuil Intense Flu?
Nah, I got this. Okay, I don't got this.
Yeah, you need NyQuil Intense Flu.
Undo your flu with NyQuil Intense Flu. NyQuil Intense Flu provides powerful relief of your flu symptoms so you can sleep.
You do got this.
NyQuil Intense Flu. The nighttime sniffling, aching fever, best sleep with the flu medicine. Use as directed, keep out of reach of children.
Welcome to guided meditation. Close your eyes. You're at the beach. The seagulls are calling. You take out your iPhone 16e you got from Cricket and use Apple Intelligence to clean up that selfie you just took. It's a good one. You send it to your friends instantly thanks to reliable nationwide 5G. They're totally jealous. Get iPhone 16e for $49.99 when you switch. Smile, you're on Cricket.
Requires new line on the Supreme Unlimited plan. First service charge and tax due at sale. $25 activation fee. Terms and restrictions apply. Cricket 5G is not available everywhere. See store for details.
The Post-Game Show with Jay Phillips and Terry Ford.
Built by U.S. Brick.
On the Game Network and streaming on the 107.5 The Game app. Let's do some Jay or Nay. It's the Post-Game Show on the Game Network.
Wednesday, we got hoops. Florida coming to town, taking on South Carolina. 8:30 pregame, 9 o'clock tip here on the Game in Columbia and our affiliate in Myrtle Beach at 100.3. Again, Wednesday night hoops with Florida coming to Columbia.
It's a big opportunity. But like you said, Florida's going to come in all hacked off after losing at home to Auburn the other day. Again, down 14, came back to tie it and ended up losing, I think, by 9. So.
And Florida, before that game, Jay, Florida was playing with, they won 5 in a row or something like that before that loss.
Yeah.
And the ironic part is Auburn's been the big underachiever this year.
Yeah, well, they're going through some changes with Stephen Pearl. We'll see if they got players, but Bruce, I tell you, Bruce is a hell of a coach
Bruce
too.
Was
Man. He's
a
not
really
just
good coach, man.
Just a cheerleader.
I mean, and you're seeing
real quick.
Go ahead.
Before you hit me with Jay or Nay, I want to get into this CIP stuff. I know a lot of people were complaining.
Jay or Nay. That's Jay or Nay.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
See how I do that.
Do you want me to? Do you want me to set some of it up then, or do you want to just
set it up and I'll go
okay?
Jay or Nay.
So
go ahead.
real quick, there were a lot of changes, about like Notre Dame in the top 12 and the Power 4 conferences getting an automatic bid no matter what, and those were not done spur of the moment after some of the final rankings this year. Those were actually agreed to in 2024. And in this piece from Chris Vanini, who covers college football for The Athletic, he basically mentions, Terry, and I'll just nutshell it here, that a lot of schools simply seem to have forgotten. It says, he writes, the Notre Dame clause seemed to be forgotten by many college officials until Pete Bavacqua, the AD at Notre Dame, reminded everyone last month in an interview after the Irish were left out. It's unclear, he writes, why many school officials forgot, but a Big Ten official confirmed to The Athletic that everyone in the league had been fully briefed on the details of the Memorandum of Understanding, which, again, was signed in 2024. So people signed it, went on about their business, heard about it again, like, wait, what? And they're like, oh, no, we signed that a year and a half ago.
Signed what?
2 years ago.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
There you go.
All right.
So that's why those things happened. They were already going to happen starting in 2026.
It's like people, you ever like sign something and it's like 75,000 words. It's all little print, and like you're in a hurry. So you're like, yeah, sure, I agree to it, whatever. Let's just move on so I can get what I want. And then that's what this feels like that was.
That's exactly.
Well, wait a minute. Where was that? Oh, that was page 62, paragraph 4, line 3, and it was in Mandarin. Oh, okay. All right, that one. All right.
So there you go. All right.
Let's get some Jay or Nay in here real quick. All right. Jay or Nay, when it comes to college football playoff, you're okay with staying at 12?
I'm okay with it. I wanted to go to 16. So, Jay, I'm okay with it. But if you ask me would I have preferred it, nay. Is that,
yeah, good. No,
is that a fair answer?
Makes sense.
I wanted him to go to 16 because 16 gives me more home games too. And again, you know how I am about the quarterfinals and semifinals. I think they should also be on campus.
Well, the dumbest thing in life is you get a bye, but you don't get a home game.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Makes no sense.
And again, ask Oregon how that worked out.
Yeah, how'd that go? All right, Jay or nay, you're happy with the idea that all power conferences are going to get the bid automatically with their champion? You okay?
Nay, I'm not. I'm not because again, Duke was 7-5, man. And if this format is next year and somebody has 5 losses, that's a lot. That's a lot, and you're not going to be in the top 12. You know what, Terry? I want the top 12 teams that are now or top 16, whatever they're going to do. Next year it'll be 12 again. I want number 1 playing number. Well, I guess you got to get people to buy. So 5 plays 12 and whatever else, and then 1, 2, 3, and 4. Get their bye week. But that's what I want. I want 1 through 12. So I'm not good with it. Nay.
Jay or nay? You're okay with Notre Dame just getting a pass? They're one of the top 12 teams. They're in automatically no matter what. Jay or nay? You all down with that?
Again, if they're in the top 12, then Jay. And that's what so I guess that's what I just was kind of saying, right? Like, I want the top 12. Well, if they're there, then they should be it. Now, who it knocks out, that team might get hacked off. And since you have to have a group of 6, because the new Pac-12 will make it a 6, somebody who's around that 11, 12, 13 line, Terry, is going to be upset. But Notre Dame made the deal. And like I said, this was signed in 2024. So I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. Because, again, Notre Dame will be in the top 12. That's why Notre Dame would get it, because they'll be in the top 12.
I guess my thing is, if we went by this next year's rules this past year, the team that played for the national championship would not be in the college football
Miami does not get in, and that is problematic. And I don't know what to do about that other than expand the field to 16, but they didn't do that.
No. I just think, again, I guess it's my thing with Notre Dame is they're given everything all the time because they're Notre Dame. And sometimes they don't have to earn anything. They're just Notre Dame.
Well, that's why I said they have to earn this at least. They got to get this. They got to be in the top 12. And if they're telling us, Terry, remember they're saying we're picking the quote best teams. Because you know how I am about that Georgia snub of like 3 years ago. I'm like, no, you didn't pick the best team.
But here's my thing about Notre Dame. Again, they're an independent. They can cherry pick their schedule. And if they've got 10 wins, they're in. Because they don't play in a conference. There's no pressure in playing in a conference or having a conference championship game. So, I don't know. Maybe it's just my Notre Dame.
I get it.
Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet studio. Herndon Chevrolet is your hometown dealer. Stop by today or shop online 24/7 at HerndonChevy.com.
Sponsored by SC Education Lottery. The South Carolina Education Lottery encourages all of their players to learn about your play before you pay. To learn how the odds work, common lottery myths, and the signs of problem gambling, check out SCEducationLottery.com/betteryou. Playing the lottery for fun is a win for education.
Hey, good morning. You're heading to the airport, right?
Yep, thanks for checking. I like the car. How long have you been a rideshare driver?
About 3 years now. I really enjoy it.
Isn't it hard to make money these days with the price of gas being so high?
Not for me. I use Upside, the free app that gives you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get real money back when you get gas with the Upside app?
Yep, I get real cash back every time I get gas.
Does that actually add up to anything?
I'll make around $200 to $300.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app now to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code MONEY for an extra 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank account, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code MONEY for a 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code MONEY.
Life matters. On a camping trip, I told my kids to wash up. It was time to eat. I watched them all go to the lake shore and wash, and I knew there was no possible way those little ones got their hands clean. They marched back proudly, and I verbalized my concerns. They held their hands out, and I must admit they did look clean. They even compared hands to each other. But as I held the lantern closely, the light revealed a deep-down griminess that resulted in a trip to the washroom with a bar of soap. The point is, everything looks clean when we compare our hands to others and when there isn't much light to see by. That's why we need God's Word. I can always find someone dirtier than me, and it makes me feel clean. The question is, how do I look when the Bible shines its light into my life? This is Stephen Chitty from Christian Life. Visit us on the web at ChristianLifeColumbia.com. Remember, life matters, and so do you.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, your favorite drafts are poured at a frosty 29 degrees, and rare barrel-aged whiskeys are served just the way you want them. It's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch every day from lunch to late night? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Twin Peaks Scratch Kitchen scores every time. Dig into hand-smashed burgers, chef-inspired flatbreads, and more at your local lodge.
Everybody loves streaming till you have to pay for it. Just download the 107.5 The Game app and stream us for free. It's the Game Network Traffic Report.
All right, we have an accident. One cleared first. Let's get to that. Yeah, an incident has been cleared I-20 westbound at Clemson Road, exit 80. Again, the incident has been cleared. A couple of details from South Carolina Department of Transportation. A brush fire closed 2 left lanes, but the incident has been cleared now, and it's all go I-20 westbound at Clemson Road, exit 80. There is an accident, though, Olympia Avenue at Virginia Street, right near Bluff. Again, that accident still going on. We'll come back at the 5 o'clock news. Also say see you to our bud Jay Phillips. And don't forget, we got men's hoops. Wednesday, South Carolina hosting Florida here on the Game in Columbia. Emerald Beach, 8:30 pregame, 9 o'clock tip.
Your home for the Gamecocks. 107.5 The Game. WNKT Eastover, Columbia. A Cumulus media station. Checking out what's up in the world of sports.
This just in. Breaking news is breaking out everywhere.
The 5 o'clock news on the postgame show.
If you're just joining us, I'm covering some breaking news. You know news is breaking because I'm telling you so, and I might touch my earpiece like this.
Sponsored by Integrated Media, Columbia's premier home theater and security experts for over 20 years. On the Game Network and on 107.5, the Game app.
All right, time to check the 5 o'clock news, sponsored by our buds Integrated Media. Before we do that, though, we forgot to say see you later, Jay Phillips. We're too busy having this Jay or nay about the college football playoff.
That's
so,
right.
man, you ready to go take a nap?
Notre Dame's place in the world.
Yes. You ready to go call it a day there, my friend?
Yeah, I am. Thank you again. We're getting there, but I'll bow out for now, and we'll do it again tomorrow. So, but that was good. There's a lot of good stuff in there today, and I'll go find fellow Bronco fans to commiserate with a little bit more.
Maybe you can find some to spoon with and take a nap. Nice big massive cuddle.
That's right. That's what I need. All right, good stuff, man.
All right, bud. We appreciate you.
I'll see everybody tomorrow.
We'll talk
and again,
to you tomorrow,
thank you
man.
all for your continued support as I get better and better each and every day. I'm working on it.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, good having you like always, my man. We'll talk to you
Thanks,
tomorrow.
bud.
See you, bud. Yep. All right, time to get the 5 o'clock news, sponsored by Integrated Media. AFC, NFC Championship games yesterday. Both were close, tight. One low scoring in the snow, the other high scoring in the Pacific Northwest. Good stuff overall, because, I mean, you want close games. You just do. And, yeah, I mean, yes, it got to be a snowy mess in Denver in the second half. I get it. But both teams had to play in it. And I've heard people say, it's a shame that, these teams are playing in these weather conditions to where they can't play the way they want to. And I understand that, and I agree. But, it's Denver in January. Last time I checked, it snows there. The stadium's not a dome. Again, everybody works on new stadiums in the Midwest and in the Rocky Mountain region, and there are talks of some retractable dome stadiums in some of these markets now. which if the weather does get bad, you can shut the roof and play football without, needing a snowblower. And you might get to that. And again, I'm fine with that. But I tell you, one place won't do it's Green Bay. Never. I mean, they still talk about with pride that was it 67 NFL championship game with the Dallas Cowboys, and dudes got frostbite and lost fingers and all that other stuff. The Ice Bowl. But look, both teams had to play in the conditions. It's football. It's the way it is. Unless you want to build a stadium with a retractable dome or whatever, if you're in cold weather areas in the winter, you're going to have to play in these kind of conditions. Just are. And it was a mess, that third, fourth quarter. And New England survived. They move on. Real quick, Sean Payton made a decision. Denver's up 7-0. They're deep in New England territory on a 4th and 1. And I'm sitting there saying, just kick the field goal, man. Make it 10-0. You're up by 2 scores. Your defense is squatting on New England's offense. And 10 points is going to feel like 110 points to the Patriots. Well, Sean Payton got aggressive, went for it on 4th and 1, probably because the analytic chart said it was a good idea. And Denver got stopped. And, oh, yeah, by the way, you have a backup quarterback in the game. You don't have your starter. So, to me, being up 10-0 was stealing. And weather forecast, there could be some weather coming through at some point. You don't know for sure because you're not an AMS certified meteorologist. But all these factors, to me, said kick the field goal. Will Lutz, the kicker, is solid. He missed a kick later when it was crazy. The weather, and the kick got tipped also as well in the game. So it's just, to me, it screamed, take the field goal, take the points, go up by 2 scores because points are going to be at a premium, the way the game was flowing. And Peyton went for it, didn't make it. The play call was a little weird too. But bottom line was Denver lost by 3. And what do you do mentally to New England if you go up 10 with a backup quarterback and your offense can't move? Because Denver's defense was dominant. I think that was a huge tipping point of the football game because Denver didn't score again. And, Jay and I yipped about this in the first riff of the show. I think coaches today, some of them are so married to the analytic chart, and they're so, I don't know, either they're scared to get second or third guessed if they don't follow the analytics, or they've gotten so aggressive and they have the analytics to back them up. Like if they get stopped, Sean Payton can say, and he didn't, he can say, hey, the analytics said go for it. We've heard coaches say it. I just think analytics are part of your decision-making process because, they're valuable, but so is game flow and momentum and score and time and situation. And how about this good old-fashioned gut instinct? You can add that in as well. I think all these things factor into that decision. It shouldn't be just, the analytics say go for it on 4th and 1. And we want to be aggressive. That's the other one we hear a lot now. I want to be aggressive because that's good if you're aggressive. And I love aggressiveness. I love aggressive football. I love for teams to go for it on 4th down. But if you're asking me about the decisions and decision-making, in that moment, I'm kicking the field goal. Because now I'm up 10-0. Here's Sean Payton post-game discussing the decision.
Well, we ended up in a 6-1 front. They ended up playing in a heavy 6-1. There was a clock stoppage, so we had a nickel run called, and then I don't know if there was a timeout or they called one, but it's a slipper naked that we've run pretty well. They played a 6-1 front with a kind of a 2-deep shell, so the run look was going to be, hindsight, the initial sub-run thought was a better decision.
He's talking about the play in general. And look, if you make it, it's a great call. We know that. That's the world we live in, right? If you make it, great call. Way to be aggressive, coach. But I just think in totality, and I remember I was sitting there, and a buddy and I were texting back and forth, and it was like, I said, I'm kicking the field goal for the reasons I just stated. And, but if Sean Payton makes it, I would say this. I'd kick the field goal, but hey, it worked out for Sean Payton. And if you do make it and then go in for a touchdown, you're up 14-0, that's a wrap. I just thought in that situation, especially with the backup quarterback, take all the points you can get when you can get them. And the field goal was there to take, and I would have taken it. Also, look, I also look at, in this football game again, you're playing with a backup quarterback. Things were a little dicey after you got out of the script. That long touchdown pass, that was part of the script. Denver wanted to take a shot downfield against the New England defense and did it against their best cover corner, Christian Gonzalez, who was not playing for the deep ball. He was playing for a shorter intermediate throw. And Mims, the Denver wide receiver, went right by him. And it was a heck of a play, and it led to a Denver touchdown. And that's when the conditions were still good. And then the offense got stagnant because, again, you got off script. But, Drake May wasn't doing a whole lot either against the Denver defense. Drake May won that game with his legs in the second half to set up the field goal. And, you go back, if you're Denver, you're upset because you didn't get up an offensive touchdown and you lost. And again, Stidham, the backup quarterback for the Broncos, again, that fumble was a killer. You can't try. You got to know when the play's over. And sometimes you got to take a sack. You just do. Or just live for the next play. And that was when you're trying to hold the ball a little bit, do a little bit too much, and it ended up biting you because it was a fumble, by the way, in my opinion. New England recovered after the review, and then they go in and score. And really, they should be able to pick it up and score, scoop and score. And, that was talked about after the game. The officials screwed up the interpretation. Shocking, I know. Again, if you're the Broncos, it stinks that you didn't have your starting quarterback, period. And, it stinks that despite not giving up an offensive touchdown, you go home. Mike Vrabel, the coach of the victorious Patriots, who, by the way, what a job. What a great job. Who feels worse today that New England won? Ready? The Denver Broncos or the Tennessee Titans, who kicked Vrabel to the curb? We'll get to that in a minute. But here's Mike Vrabel postgame talking about playing in these conditions.
Yeah, I think that's why you have to do this. It's you have to believe things sometimes before you can see them. And you have to believe that what you're doing is the right thing. And if it's not, you have to recognize it and make adjustments and changes to the program and everything else. And, we got a great group of guys, and they continue to, again, believe in the things that we did, and they formed and created an identity, and they try to protect it. And then today was just another example of, as things kind of change and unfold, our ability to adjust. And, Josh and Zach and Jeremy did a great job leading their units, and the players executed when they had to. And I know that there's going to be a lot of questions about this and that and the other thing. And, we did enough to win the football game in tough conditions. And
yeah, that's what you do. And, again, we give our flowers to New England. That sounds better when, like, a 13-year-old says it. Anyway. So you give New England props. And Mike Vrabel, what a turnaround. Team won 4 games last year, now going to the Super Bowl. And one thing it shows you in the NFL, coaching and quarterbacking matter. You got to get them. You got to get them right. You just do. However you go about that, getting them right, you get them right. And with Mike Vrabel, look, the Titans were going backwards under Vrabel. Let's not forget that. As we want to beat up the Tennessee Titans for getting rid of Mike Vrabel, it was going backwards. If you look at that last year and a half in Tennessee for Vrabel. But here's where you have to have good ownership and good front office, or at least good ownership. You have to take a look at why is it going backwards? What has happened? We had a guy who was coaching this team, the AFC Championship game, was in the playoffs multiple times, and now all of a sudden we're going backwards. We've gone 7-10 and 6-11 in the last 2 years. And remember, in 2022, They were in line for a playoff spot and fell apart, and then the following season only won 6 games. So here's a guy who went from going 23-10 in 2 years to going 13-21 in 2 years. You got to stop and say, well, what's happened? Because this guy never had a losing record until these last 2 years. Well, number one, you got rid of A.J. Brown, your big playmaking wide receiver, who balanced your offense with your running back Derrick Henry and your quarterback Ryan Tannehill. But someone, not Mike Vrabel, decided to pay the quarterback like he was a high-level quarterback, which he was. He was a nice, solid, franchise-type quarterback that you could win with the right pieces around him. But then you took away one of those pieces because you paid the quarterback too much money. Then you decided to pay a running back a lot of money, is what you don't do in today's football, no matter how good Derrick Henry is. So you paid the running back, and you overpaid for the quarterback, and you couldn't pay the wide receiver. And that was the beginning of the end. But instead of ownership looking at why all of a sudden Mike Vrabel isn't winning anymore, they decided Vrabel was the problem and not John Robinson, the GM. That's how you end up in this spot. And if you're going to fire the guy that went, what was it, 9-7, 9-7, 11-5, 12-5, and then had 2 losing seasons, if you're going to get rid of him, A, you better be sure that you're doing the right thing, and B, you better not screw up the hire of the next guy. What did the Titans do? Guess what? Screw up the hire of the next guy. Brian Callahan. Might as well have been Bill Callahan. So, again, you get the coach right and the quarterback right. If you have a good coach, you have to stand back. If things start going sideways, you got to say, okay, how much of it's the coach? Have we reached our ceiling with this guy? Has he lost the locker room? Has something changed? Why are we all of a sudden not as successful as we were? You can't just pull the trigger on the coach. You got to be smarter than that. You just do. But, yeah, again, thumbs up to Vrabel and the New England Patriots. All right, we only got a short period of time here, but that game with the Rams and the Seahawks, I'm going to raise my hand and say, Sam Darnold, I'm sorry. You proved me wrong. I've seen Sam Darnold see ghosts. I've seen Sam Darnold come up small on the biggest stage. We've seen Sam Darnold throw the ball to the other team in big games. That's why I didn't pick the Seahawks. I didn't believe in Sam Darnold. I believe in Matthew Stafford. Sam Darnold matched Stafford throw for throw. The Seahawks receiving core was fantastic. No drops. That passing game, the Seahawks had to play like that to beat the Rams, and they did, to their credit. Sam Darnold, God love you. Thumbs up, my friend. You are going to start in the Super Bowl ahead of the guys in your draft class, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Baker Mayfield. Who would have thought this? It's crazy. All right, there's your 5 o'clock news sponsored by Bud's Integrated Media. We will come back and hit the Gamecock Notebook. Hear from Lamont Paris and Dawn Staley next on the postgame show on the game.
The Game Network, Columbia, Florence, Myrtle Beach, and our new affiliate in Charleston.
Everybody loves streaming till you have to pay for it. Just download the 107.5 The Game app and stream us for free. Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet studio. Herndon Chevrolet is your hometown dealer. Stop by today or shop online 24/7 at HerndonChevy.com.
Hey, y'all, Jay Phillips for AAA Heating and Air. Listen, one of the great things about South Carolina weather is it's usually not very cold, but it can also go hot, cold, warm, all in the space of a week or so, right? Well, you can beat the seasons with AAA Heating and Air. All right, here's what you do. You call them up, 803-677-1500. Get them in for an estimate. Get them in for an inspection. If you don't know how long it's been since you've even had your system checked, then it'd be a great time to do it. If you're ready for a new system, Roy and Dana Finley can hook you up with some fantastic opportunities, including guaranteed financing and a 15-year parts and labor guarantee. So do what I've done, do what our good friend Bill Gunner has done, and many of your friends and neighbors. Stay nice and comfortable all the time. And tell them we sent you. 803-677-1500, AAA Heating and Air.
Sponsored by SC Education Lottery. Now, all lottery purchases come with more chances to win cash, merchandise, and other great prizes with the launch of Players Club Rewards. Scan your winning or non-winning tickets in the SC Lottery app and start winning more. See SCEducationLottery.com for more information.
This is Larry Leitner, owner and founder of Midstate Roofing, and for nearly 30 years, we've continued to be the proven leader in the roofing and waterproofing industry. Midstate Roofing's proven history is your assurance that our professionals at Midstate Roofing will provide the proper advice, service, and results to the needs of your facility in a manner both safe and pleasing to your operation. From high-rise to hospitals, manufacturing to industrial, Midstate Roofing designs and installs bonded systems with a protective guarantee that will keep your operation dry and running long into the future. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
And this is Blake Leitner, reminding you to protect that roof with a maintenance contract. Call me today at 803-356-1919 or online at midstateroofing.com. That's midstateroofing.com.
You'll speak to an on-call technician after hours or a Midstate Roofing staff member during hours at 803-356-1919 or online at midstateroofing.com. And as always, tell them Midstate Twins.
If you have a leak, let Midstate Roofing take a peek.
At Average Amy's Coffee Corner, our coffee has caffeine, our muffins are cooked, and our services, well, we're here. Come on by for an average cup of joe.
Average doesn't build great businesses. Cumulus Digital does, outperforming industry benchmarks by more than 25%. We deliver smarter digital marketing to over 4,000 local businesses every month and drive real, measurable growth. You're not average. Your marketing results shouldn't be either. Visit cumulusdigital.com to start outperforming today.
Bill Gunner here with the mortgage guru Jacob Crowder from First Palmetto Bank. If the new year has you in need of a guru in this market, Jacob will get you taken care of. Just a few years ago, he helped me, and I personally recommend him and First Palmetto Bank, who's owned and operated right here in the Midlands. Jacob has local decision makers, which means quick and precise processing and underwriting. So if you're looking to make a move, give Jacob a call today, 803-719-1005, or email him at jcrowder@firstpalmetto.com.
Thanks, Bill. It's nice to have the band back together. Interest rates have stabilized, as well as the local housing market. Now is a good time to buy a house. At First Palmetto, we have products that help home buyers keep payments down. Also, if you're considering building a home, we have a no-nonsense construction loan fit your needs. If the new year brings change, we can help you. Give me a call, 803-719-1005.
Great news on the housing market having stabilized, so that makes it a good time to buy?
Absolutely. That sums it up, Bill.
Call Jacob Crowder today, 803-719-1005.
My MLS number is 198432. First Palmetto is a member of the FDIC and an equal housing lender.
Powered by Integrated Media, The Game TV. Sponsored by Shepherd's Glass. For auto, home, and commercial glass. ShepherdsGlass.com. In Chapin and West Columbia. The Game TV. Sponsored by Shepherd's Glass. Shepherd's Glass.
The Postgame Show with Jane Phillips and Terry Ford.
Built by U.S. Brick.
On the Game Network and streaming on the 107.5 The Game app. It's time to open the Gamecock Notebook on the Postgame Show with Jane Phillips and Terry Ford on the Game Network.
All right, South Carolina women yesterday, talk about breaking open a can. I think they just scored again. 103-74 over Vandy. South Carolina was a 62% from the floor, over 50% from three, over 90% from the line. Talking about going on a 40-minute heater. Gamecocks, I mean, it was fabulous. At the rim, remember the issue we talked about against Oklahoma? South Carolina shot less than 50% at the rim. Well, they were over 70%, 27-36 in this game. 10 of 17 from three. Just on fire. Dina Okot coming off the bench because it just... Dawn brought Okot off the bench because Vandy's a small lineup. They're quick. They shoot threes. They attack. So Okot came off the bench, and she was 8 of 9 at the rim. Joyce Edwards, 7 of 9 at the rim. Both of those players... That's their game, scoring at the rim. And both were phenomenal. Just a combined 15 of 18 at the rim. Tania Latson, just all-around good game. Scoring, ended up with a 21. Scored inside, hit a 3. 5 assists in the game. Couple of steals. Latson was excellent. So was Tessa Johnson. She knocked down 4 threes. Look, that game was won in the first couple of minutes. Yeah, Vanderbilt came back at the end of the half. South Carolina, a little execution issue, opened the door for Vandy. But the Gamecocks opened it up again in the second half and just rolled the Commodores. And it was just from the jump. South Carolina all over Vanderbilt from the get-go. Steals, forcing turnovers. Just Vanderbilt didn't know what hit them. It was, I think this was twofold, or just threefold. One, South Carolina was not in a very good mood after what happened in that loss in Norman earlier in the week. So Dawn got to coach them, get them focused. The intensity was back. The focus was back. And South Carolina played angry, like Vanderbilt stole something from them. And just smacked down the Commodores. I think part of it was the Oklahoma game. The other part is South Carolina doesn't lose back-to-back games. It's been, 7 or 8 years since that's happened. 3, it was a pretty good matchup. Vanderbilt, not a tough, rugged, intense defensive team. They're solid. They're just not great. Their calling card is their offense, especially with their guards and from the perimeter. So it was a good matchup for South Carolina. And the Gamecocks turned up the heat. Vanderbilt didn't know what hit them. You could see the faces of the Vanderbilt players. They're walking back to the bench going, oh, my God, this is crazy. And I think, too, that good teams after losses where you don't play well always seem to bounce back and crush it in their next effort. And so in a weird week where South Carolina loses to the number 16 team on the road in overtime, bouncing back and beating one of the only 2 undefeated teams left in the country at home by 30 or 29, if you want to get exact. After the game, Dawn Staley talking about the message to her squad after that loss to Oklahoma.
I mean, obviously we talk about it. We want to, everybody wants to get better, and getting better takes. I mean, it takes effort. It takes sacrifice, and all of our players were willing to do that, no matter what it took for us to win the game. I mean, we did get off to a really good start. I thought just starting a smaller lineup, we could apply a lot more pressure than we normally do, and also just floor spacing from an offensive standpoint. And I don't want to make sure that I say this, Medina is not the scapegoat at all. And I made sure I told her that it's not. It was totally giving her, a look at the game. Just take a little bit of pressure off of her, because we're putting her in situations that we had players build to those moments. Asia built to that moment. Aaliyah built to that moment. They didn't come in as freshmen and have to be the dominating big that they became. I know what that feels like. I know what that feels like when it's. I can identify it, and we need to just take a little bit off of her. And you see, she got good looks, and she probably feels a lot better about just seeing the ball go in and playing the way that she played on both sides of the ball.
Agat Makir started in place of Okot and was really good on both ends of the court. Brought a different level of intensity defensively, another athletic presence.
I mean, obviously we talk about it.
No. We already played that. Thank you, though. So that was one thing, and then Okot came in the game, and South Carolina passed the rock like really well. 25 assists in this basketball game. It was excellent on both ends of the court, and you saw some pick and roll action. Okot and Edwards going to the basket. There was better player movement on offense, better ball movement. Dawn talked about earlier about reversing the ball, using both sides of the court offensively to make the defense react. It just was it was just a really nice win for South Carolina. All right, the men, the flip side, just got worked. They did at College Station. Texas A&M's tough to play. They play a style that no one else does, buckyball. They push the tempo on both ends of the court. They push the tempo in an unconventional way at times. South Carolina couldn't handle it, and it was not pretty. Just flat out wasn't pretty in College Station, 92-69. And to be fair, it wasn't that close. Here, post game, is Lamont Paris talking about how his team handled the pressure that A&M put on them for 40 minutes.
Yeah, I thought pretty good. I mean, we had a couple that was just where we were loose with it. I mean, Mike threw the ball over top to Michi. We had another one. I didn't even see what happened. I was talking to the bench, and then I look up, and then they're scoring the ball again because we turned it over. But by and large, we did a good job doing that, especially in the first half. I thought I was really happy with what we were doing in that. We were really, there was some real attention to detail on a couple of the press breakers that we had. So this whole thing is about growing and ultimately being the best product that you can be. And there was some real growth out of some things in this game. There's no doubt about it. I don't want to, I'd be lying to you if I was telling you different than that. So I thought we did a good job with that at the most part. But then once we got it past half court, we were sped up a little bit. The drives that we were creating were a little rushed, and we weren't as strong with our finishes. And then because we had 2 or 3 guys right at the rim, they rebounded it, outletted it, and then they were attacking and pitching for threes. And that's where, I'm telling you, as I look back at it, that's going to be where a lot of their threes came from in transition.
South Carolina, Lamont's point, 11 for 25 at the rim. Kobe Knox really struggled at the rim. Only 2 for 6. And yet they were sped up. They were kind of, sometimes when you're sped up, and if you play basketball, if you go a little too fast sometimes, that's not good. What's the old John Wooden thing? Be quick, don't hurry. And they were rushed at times. The tempo would rush South Carolina. That's one of the things that we were talking about last week we were concerned about was the tempo forcing South Carolina to play faster than they wanted to. And that was the thing. And, again, the Gamecocks, when you don't have a natural point guard who can settle things down and quarterback it and can calmly help, not so much getting the ball up the court, because that's part one, but part two is when a team plays fast and you don't and they're speeding you up, you need somebody to slow you down. And South Carolina really doesn't have that consistently. Look, Michi was good. Michi Johnson, again, the only Gamecock totally productive consistently through the game. And Michi, the last 3 games, a lot of things Michi's done well. And he did. He was 4 for 7 at the rim. He was 2 for 4 from 3. 5 of 8 on twos. Had 10 for 10 from the line. So Michi was solid, but the team itself, just a rough outing against A&M 92-69. I will pop back in here. Our drive around the SEC is next here on the post-game show on the game.
Steps back 3. Yes, sir. The Game Network. 107.5 The Game in Columbia. 100.5 The Game in Florence. 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach. And now 96.9 HD3 The Game in Charleston.
This hour of in-show listening on 107.5 The Game is sponsored by QC Kinetics in West Columbia, the non-surgical regenerative orthopedic specialists of the Midlands. Request your consultation today at qckinetics.com.
Hey, y'all, Jay Phillips for our good friends at Cato's Power Equipment. Ben, Matt, Andrew, the entire crew at Cato's, ready to make sure that everything that you need for your yard work is right in front of you. The latest from Steel, from Toro, from Gravely, battery-powered, gas-powered. Listen, the service department, second to none in this town. They've been in business since 1983, so you know they know what's up, right? It's that simple when it comes to what they do at Cato's Power Equipment. And a lot of the battery-powered things now, they won't be in the service department. They'll be working for you a whole lot longer, and they're just as powerful as so many of the things from generations past. I love my Toro equipment. Can't wait to use it when it's time for yard work because I get it done well, I get it done faster. Check them out online. See the entire inventory. As I've said for many, many years now, whether you do it for yourself or you do it for a living, you need to work with the great people at Cato's. CatosPowerEquipment.com, 4012 West Beltline Boulevard. Family owned since 1983. That's Cato's.
Enrolls you in recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
The team's looking good this season.
I think so. Man, I miss playing football. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think it could be lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
I was feeling the same way. After 40, the body has less testosterone, and men lose their edge. That's why I take Nugenix Total T2.
That's the testosterone booster, right?
Yes, but Total T2 is their brand new formula that skyrockets nitric oxide levels in as little as 3 hours. Since I started taking it, I've been lifting like when we played for Coach Carter. My energy is way up, and it even spiced up things between me and the missus.
Are they still giving giving out complimentary bottles?
Yep, just send a text.
Text HIM to 215-215 for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T2, the next generation testosterone booster. Text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, our newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text HIM to 215-215. That's HIM to 215-215.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Paid for by Adaptive Health.
Last year, we had 295 trials where we'd been offered a total of $90 million on all those cases. When the dust settled, we had recovered over $1.1 billion in verdicts and mid-trial settlements. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. We became America's largest injury firm for a reason. We won a lot, $30 billion and counting. The best part of all those wins is that it helps you when you hire us. All those wins allow us to let the insurance company know we mean business. And believe me, they know who we are. If you've been injured, Google Morgan & Morgan results. You're not bragging if it's a fact. 3 million people tried to hire us last year alone. That happened for a reason. Visit forthepeople.com and let's get started this minute. Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com.
Joe Standifer, Esquire, 11915 Plaza Drive, Suite 301, Murrells Inlet, South Carolina, 29576.
Powered by Integrated Media. The Game TV. Sponsored by Shepherd's Glass. For auto, home, and commercial glass. ShepherdsGlass.com. In Chapin and West Columbia. The Game TV. Sponsored by Shepherd's Glass. Shepherd's Glass. It's the Game Network Traffic Report.
All right, a couple accidents to get to. Bar Road at West Main and Augusta Highway. Also, Divine Street at Woodrow. I-77 northbound at Bluff Road, exit 5. And Piney Woods Road at Piney Grove Road. Of course, construction, like always, around the Midlands in the same old places we talk about all the time. So if you're in a hurry, you might want to maneuver around those. We'll come back, get you drive around the SEC, get you caught up on SEC hoops over the weekend. And On3 did it way too early top 100 football players in the country. Where's the SEC rank in this metric? We'll get to that next here on the post-game show. Terry Ford, appreciate you hanging out with us. We go till 6, and it's the best of the game. You're on the game.
It's time for our drive around the SEC on the postgame show.
Georgia on the mountaintop. Demons be gone, and the drought is over. National champions.
On the Game Network and on 107.5, the Game app.
All right. Checking out On3's top 100. Way too early top 100 football players for 2026. Clark Brooks, SEC StatCat, now working for On3. He did the top 100. We told you the other day 3 Gamecocks made it. Dylan Stewart at number 3, Jacarius Parks at number 14, and Lennar Sellers checks in at number 23. All right, the top-rated player that comes from the SEC on this list is Dylan Stewart at number 3. Then the SEC checks in with Colin Simmons, the edge from Texas, at number 5. So 2 edge players, one from South Carolina, one from Texas, are the 2 top-rated players on this list from the SEC. Then you get the 2 running backs from the SEC at number 7 and 8. Number 7 is Kawan Lacey from Ole Miss, and Lacey had a fantastic year. So the guy in the 8th spot, Ahmad Hardy from Missouri. So 2 guys who had transferred into their schools from different places. And Lacey left Missouri. And both Kewan Lacey and Ahmad Hardy had fantastic years. I said it's 7 and 8. And then number 10, Cam Coleman to Texas from the transfer portal. So 1, 2, 3, 5 players out of the top 10 are from the SEC. You notice something? You didn't hear blah, blah, blah from Georgia or blah, blah, blah from Alabama. The top-rated Georgia player or Alabama player doesn't come in here till, and I'm scrolling down, man. I mean, you got to go all the way, unless I'm missing one, because I'm doing this on the fly. get to 43. I'm going to go back up here again, just double check. And that's a Bama player, and at 50, I mean, let's see, a Georgia player didn't show up till 57. Yeah, I know. What does that tell you? Now, Georgia's still going to be really good, and Alabama's going to be a good team too, you would believe. But that just tells you a little something right there. And again, it's a way too early top 100. What does it mean in the big picture? Nothing. But it's just a little snapshot of the thought process people have of these players. So it's always kind of interesting. All right, to the SEC and hoops over the weekend. Vanderbilt took out Mississippi State's number 15. Vanderbilt had a 2-game losing streak, and they snapped that by winning at Mississippi State. Rebels, I mean, Mississippi State are just struggling. They're 2-5. Chris Jan's a good coach, but the Bulldogs are having issues, and that game was in Starkville. Auburn upset number 16 Florida in Gainesville, 76-67. Florida's up big. I mean, Auburn was up big. Florida came back to tie, and then the Tigers found a way to hang on and get a W on the road. Florida had been playing really well, too. This game was fun. Tennessee went to number 17 Alabama. The Tide missing their number 2 and number 3 leading scorers, and it showed. But again, nothing against Tennessee went in Tuscaloosa and won, no matter who Alabama was missing. And Nate Ament, the freshman for Tennessee, was fantastic. I was watching this game. Rick Barnes finally did the right thing, put Ament, for the most part, at the 3. Dude's 6'10", but does have perimeter skills, and Alabama had no answer for Ament. 29 points, 10 of 20 shooting, 7-9 from the line, 7 boards, 3 assists. Ament was the best player on the court and affected the game like nobody else. If you keep playing him at the 3 the rest of the year, he's a matchup problem. And it helps Tennessee become more efficient on offense. So mark this down. If Rick Barnes continues down this road with massive minutes for Ament at the 3, I mean, Tennessee, keep an eye on Tennessee moving forward. LSU loses by 4 at number 20 Arkansas. Matt McMahon 1-6 for LSU. They spent more money in the portal. They're still at the bottom of the league. LSU might be looking for a new basketball coach in the offseason. And Arkansas, they improved to 5-2 in the conference. Texas, I believe I saw this blurb, has more top 25 wins than any other team in the SEC. Texas 87-67 over Georgia. That game was played in Austin. Kentucky, they take out Ole Miss at home, 72-63. Kentucky, even though it's been kind of a wonky year, 5-2 in the league. And Chris Beard is just losing his mind. His team is frustrating him like nobody's business. And Missouri, this game was kooky. All right, so Oklahoma's got the lead near the end of regulation. Missouri hits a 3 to tie at the buzzer. Oklahoma's got the lead going to the end of the first overtime by 2. Missouri hits a game-winning 3 at the buzzer. I don't think it's ever happened before. You know it's not your year when a team hits a buzzer shot to tie you to go to overtime, then hits a buzzer shot at the end of overtime when you're up by 2 to beat you. Missouri's 4-3 in the league. Oklahoma's 1-6. And if you go by some of the analytics sites, they are picking Oklahoma to only win one more game the rest of the year. That would be like 11 or 12 win season. That would not be acceptable. Porter Moser, and I love Porter Moser. It's just not working in Norman. Last year went to the NCAA tournament for the first time in his tenure, and he's going to back it up with a year like this because Oklahoma is a bit more patient than most. Moser might get one more year to get this straightened out, but I thought that was a really good hire. And obviously I'm wrong so far. Could it change? Could it get turned around? Yeah, but it's just not good. Not good at all for Porter Moser, what's going on in Oklahoma. Real quick, SEC standings coming out of the weekend. Texas A&M with that victory over South Carolina. A&M right now 6-1 in the league, a game better than Arkansas, Florida, and Kentucky. They're all 5-2. Then Georgia and Missouri and Vandy and Auburn, and they all 4-3. Tennessee and Alabama are 3-3. Texas, Ole Miss 3-4. South Carolina, Mississippi State 2-5. LSU and Oklahoma occupying the basement at 1-6 in the league. How about buckyball at A&M? like I said to Jay earlier, it's going to be interesting to see how teams adjust to Bucky McMillan, his style at A&M, because it's so different. Once teams see it a few times, how are they going to adjust and combat it? Because that style is something else, man. It just is. All right, we'll come back, do a little quick Jay versus the Internet, and then kind of spin back on the NFC Championship game. We didn't get a chance to talk about it a lot. Want to get back to that. And also maybe a cut from Dawn about her team and playing to their standard. That's in our final segment here on the post-game show. Terry Ford, appreciate you hanging out with us. We go till 6, and it's the best of the game here on the Game and the Game Network.
The Game Network welcomes our new affiliate 96.9 WIWF HD3 in Charleston, South Carolina.
Powered by Integrated Media, The Game TV. Sponsored by Shepherd's Glass. For auto, home, and commercial glass. ShepherdsGlass.com. In Chapin and West Columbia, The Game TV. Sponsored by Shepherd's Glass. Shepherd's Glass.
This is a Westwood One Sports Minute.
Presented by Robinhood, your money, your move. Sam Darnold is no longer a playoff pumpkin. After beating the Rams with over 300 yards and 3 touchdowns, Darnold can finally say he can perform when it matters in the playoffs. Now he has the chance to do it in 2 weeks on the biggest stage possible against the Patriots in the Super Bowl. If nothing else, his great defense will be there to support him. I'm Adam Abdallah.
Oh, hello. It's me, the calculator that lives inside of TaxSlayer. And let me tell you, I love numbers. 1040s, 1099s, W-2s, all of them. With TaxSlayer, anyone can file a federal return for just $22.99. You'll get 100% accuracy and your biggest possible refund guaranteed. Now those are great numbers. Need help along the way? We've got U.S.-based real human support. File by February 8th for just $22.99 and get the refund you deserve. TaxSlayer. File fearlessly.
My name is Whitney Allen. I am a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought in a million years we'd have to use life insurance. The unexpected happened. With Ethos, it is so fast and easy. It's 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage, no medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage through Ethos.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/game. That's ETHOS.com/game.
Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required. Snapshot from Progressive wasn't created for just anybody.
Oh no, we made it for you. Gradual breakers. You keep your eyes on the road, so you've seen it all. As long as it all happened directly in front of you, like a Swedish masseuse, your foot knows exactly the right amount of pressure to apply to the brake. That's why your passengers feel totally relaxed with you behind the wheel and occasionally super sleepy. With Snapshot, safe drivers like you get personalized rates based on your driving habits. Sign up today at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Snapshot not available in California or from all agents.
Taxes was waiting on the refund you needed yesterday.
All right, your car repair is going to run about $3,000.
Now Taxes is getting back on the road with TurboTax and Credit Karma, where you can get your refund up to 5 days faster and get personalized guidance to take every dollar further. Now this is Taxes. Intuit Credit Karma with TurboTax. Deposit a federal refund into Credit Karma Money account and early submission of refund data by IRS required. Terms apply. Banking services provided by MVB Bank, Inc. Member FDIC. Credit Karma is not a bank.
Meet Matthew Preston. Inside his apartment, everything he holds dear is protected by Progressive's Renter's Insurance, like his laptop and a surprisingly valuable collection of baseball bobbleheads. Outside his apartment, his laptop is still protected, as are his bobbleheads, which he carries around with him for reasons no one knows. Renters, the limits of protection aren't just the four walls of your home. When you're in Progressive's Protection Zone, get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and third-party insurers.
When the deals drop at Kohl's, you feel it. You see up to 50% off end-of-season must-haves, plus up to 85% off clearance favorites. And suddenly, your whole world narrows to one thought. Must shop now. Your to-do list gone. Your dinner plans forgotten. It's just you and your cart gliding through the store. Yeah, Kohl's deals will do that to a person. Save in-store and online now. Select styles. Some exclusions apply. See store or Kohls.com for details.
The Post-Game Show with Jane Phillips and Terry Ford.
Built by U.S. Brick.
On the Game Network and streaming on the 107.5 The Game app. And now, Jane versus the Internet. It's the post-game show on the Game Network.
We'll Jay versus the Internet real quick in a second. A couple games in the top 25 we want to get to. Big games. A giant game, matter of fact. Out west. Let's get a little music. A little music here. There we go. That pick better. We'll have this music. All right, Louisville and Duke in Cameron, or at Cameron, I should say. Number 22, Louisville. Number 20, Louisville going to Duke. Duke's really good. Louisville can have some defensive lapses. I think Duke at home covers the 8.5, and they beat Louisville. BYU, the number 13th ranked team in the country, hosts number 1 and undefeated Arizona. It's going to be good. Obviously, BYU, they're going to be stoked in Provo. And obviously, they got that freshman that ain't bad. That dropped a 40 burger over the weekend. AJ DeBansta he's the deal in college right now. If you look at his numbers, he's scoring 23.5 a game, 7 boards, 3.5 assists, shooting 55% from the floor, 34% from 3, which is above average in college. Can jump out of the gym. He was throwing dunks with his knees the other night. Now, Arizona's got a really good freshman, too. And, you know, you can look at Arizona, the better all-around team in a lot of ways. Cole Pete, not as trumpeted and heralded as old AJ, but still Pete's had a nice year as a freshman. He leads Arizona in scoring. I think the Wildcats will go in. Look, I wouldn't be surprised if BYU won. Arizona 1.5 favorite. I think BYU gives Arizona their first loss. Because it's just going to be set up. As good as Arizona is, and they're good. They are good. Number 1 team in the country in KenPom. Top 10 team in offense and defense. BYU is not as good as Arizona in both those things, but the game is in Provo, and I just think that place is going to be nuts. And Arizona's not going to go undefeated. And this is the spot where I can see them getting their first loss. All right, so there we go. A little Jay versus the Internet. Dawn Staley was talking to the media post-game after the whooping South Carolina put on Vandy yesterday at CLA. And Dawn said something interesting. She was talking to the media about the standard, or playing to their standard at South Carolina. And here's what Dawn had to say.
I mean, it for us, and I it's kind of just discussed this with our team after we lost to Oklahoma. Like, we're not who we were in the past, and we can't compare those teams to this team because we're just so new and different. And I think sometimes us as coaches have to really, really realize that this is a totally different core group of players who really isn't a core because, I mean, we got a season together. We got 21 games together, and it takes a little bit more time to create a core. But I'm happy that we responded to our loss. I'm happy that we can rise to the challenge of playing the top teams, not just in our conference, but they're top teams in the country. And you afford yourself to that on any given night because we're just loaded. But I'm just happy for our team that they know what the standard is. They understand our standard, and we got to keep them in a place where they play to that standard every single night, or else we just got to get other people in that on the bench, from the bench, that will play to that standard, whether we win, lose, because I'd rather lose, trying to play to our standard versus knowing that we just aren't playing to the standard for one reason or another. So happy for our team.
It's a great piece of audio about playing to your standard. There's a certain standard we play to. And if you play to that standard, you're going to hit the court. If you don't play to that standard, we'll get somebody else from the bench who will play to that standard. And against Oklahoma, they just didn't play to that standard as a team. They sure did yesterday afternoon against Vandy, though. All right, real quick before we run out of here, we'll slip back to the NFC Championship game real quick. We didn't get a chance to talk about a couple things. First of all, how about this guy's play?
And it is incomplete. Eamon again. That's a heck of a series for the rookie.
Wow, pass breakup on Nakua, pass breakup on Adams. They're on the halfback.
Nick Eamon had a heck of a series, had 2 passes defended, and it was against 2 of the best receivers in the NFL. One was against arguably, if not one of the 2 top receivers in the NFL, in Puka Nakua, and the other was Devontae Adams, who used to be looked at as a top 5 guy and still really good, even though he might not be in his prime anymore. Eamon had a really nice game. He's had a heck of a rookie year, even though he's still raw and has things to learn, like coverage is still something he's getting better at, and he had 3 passes defended yesterday. Eamon, once he continues to gain experience, is going to be a problem for the NFL or for NFL offenses. You just saw it yesterday. I mean, the size and the speed and the athleticism and the physicality, once he picks up some experience with some things he has to get better at, Eamon, you could see him being an all-pro. He's got that much game. Really does. He really does. And he's going off to a Super Bowl. How about that guy? Him and Ernest Jones. One other thing, the Rams are doing something, even though they lost, and I was reading about this, and this just makes them such a smart organization. And they've rebuilt quick. Remember, they won a Super Bowl. They went out and traded all their draft picks or premium round draft picks to go get star players, right? And they went and won a Super Bowl. And then they cratered because they had a bunch of older guys on big bloated contracts, and they had a really bad season and said, okay, we're done with that way. We got to come up with a new way. One of the things they started doing, this is so smart. I am not a combine guy. Is there value to the combine? Sure. But the idea that you can go out there in your underwear and Crocs and run the 40, and if you have a good time, all of a sudden you move up somebody's draft board's insane. Nobody plays football in underwear and Crocs or track shoes or track clothes. What the Rams are doing is they are getting GPS game speed from schools and at like Senior Bowl, like at Senior Bowl practices. They're getting the speed of players when they play, game speed. And that is one of the things that they're using as they're evaluating college players for the draft. God, it's just so smart. It's like, why don't you see how fast does a guy play? Because guys sometimes play faster than they run on a track. And some guys run a track fast and don't play as fast. So the Rams getting the GPS technology and getting actual game speed about, prospects, that's smart. Thanks for hanging out with us. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Best of the Game is next.
Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet studio. Herndon Chevrolet is your hometown dealer. Stop by today or shop online 24/7.